find me. I'm always there. You think I'm just in that fancy machine? Think again. I'm part of you. I'm always with you. I'm inside you. Find me. Just do this. You're mine. Happiness.
Let's go. Got a crazy feeling I don't understand. Gotta get away from here. Feeling like I should have kept my feet on the ground, waiting for the sun to appear.
Looking for some hot stuff, baby, this evening.
Oh no,
I need some hot stuff, baby, tonight.
oh no.
I want some hot stuff, baby, this evening.
Here we go now.
Gotta have some loving, gotta have some love
And he thinks I'm lazy, he don't understand. Never saw inside my head. People think I'm crazy, but I'm in demand. Never heard a thing I said.
Gotta have some hot love, baby, this evening.
Oh no,
I need some hot stuff, baby, tonight.
oh no.
I want some hot stuff, baby, this evening.
Here we go now.
Gotta have some loving, got to have love tonight.
Oh no.
Hot stuff,
Here we go now.
hot stuff,
Oh no. I've been a bad, bad boy. It's something that I enjoy. Got a crazy feeling I don't understand. Gotta get away from here. Feeling like I should have kept my feet on the ground, waiting for the sun to appear. Oh no, oh no. Here we go now. Oh no. Here we go now. Oh no.
Hello there.
Hello there.
I'll be there
Where's
in a
Bonnie?
sec.
Was she up dancing?
Nope.
No.
Nope. She's putting the dog out.
Uh,
Nice
are you?
mix you got there.
That was a good mix, no?
Donna Summer and what's his name? Ozzy Osbourne.
And Ozzy. They worked
Yep.
good together, though. I think.
Yep. I did. Did you do that?
No, no,
Oh.
that's I forget his name. I was gonna put it in here, but I forgot.
Oh.
He does a whole bunch of videos.
Oh yeah. Just a second.
Have another one for
Sure,
you
my
later. But
dog
yeah,
hasn't run away. Just a sec.
get her.
Hey. Hey.
Choo choo. Come here.
Oh Christ. Get in. Now my cat's running away. Fuck.
See,
Oh, I got good range tonight though. I'm like all the way outside.
that's all right.
Might cut out for a second because I have to walk further away from the apartment.
Where are they? Just running around outside.
My dog?
Mhm.
No, she went to fuck. I hate this time of the year. I can't see where she shits. Fuck. I have to wait until in the morning to go and pick it up. No, she went to the side of the building where I can't see. So because I have a privacy thing. So I
Mhm.
gotta go right around. And then if I don't close the door properly, my cat runs out.
Does she like it outside?
Yeah, because she's a Siamese cat.
Mhm.
They when they get a taste for the outside, they tend to go a little bit wild.
Mm.
And she's been not very nice lately. I don't know. My ex-father-in-law had a Siamese cat, and the cat did actually go wild. It got out, and we had to call the SPCA to come in and pick it up with that, that stick with the loop and everything.
Mhm.
We had to have the cat put down. Cat went
So it's
completely
crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
Siamese cats do go crazy. My friend had one, and that thing went nuts.
Yes, they do, and she's like 10 or 11 now,
Yeah.
and she's a little bit crotchety now, I guess, and she's starting to bite, and even Rich, and she loves Rich.
So she
She's
takes
starting to
after you,
nice.
getting crotchety and old,
Well, you know what? One day
fighting rich.
you're gonna be in the same boat as I am one day. Old. You're already crotchety,
But I'm not gonna
crabby.
bite rich though.
You never know.
No. What do you got going on in there?
I don't
Whatever.
know. Rich
I don't
fixed
know.
it for me. Whatever it is tastes good.
Nice.
Let's find out what we've got in the vape
What's in the
tonight.
bowl?
In the bowl. I don't have a bowl, but what's in the vape tonight? Pineapple Express and what? Lazar? Pineapple Express and Lazar hash. Oh,
Okay.
Mazar.
Bizarre stuff. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it tastes good.
What's he up to tonight? Hockey game?
Well, he's got the hockey game right now. He's fixing himself a sandwich, and he's angry because he doesn't like the chick sportscaster on hockey because she wants to take it women's hockey. So you can get on and talk about that tonight. How it's not women's hockey because she wants to take. Oh, it'll be fine. She wants to take fighting out of the league, and she wants to take checking out of the league. Basically, all like I don't really know much about hockey, but
But isn't
Rich,
fighting already pretty much out of it though? Like that's why I stopped watching hockey and playing hockey.
well, there's still. I think there is still fighting, but I don't think like what Rich was saying. They don't have the big like
The bench
enforcers in
brawls
that
and
now.
stuff. Like
Yeah,
there's no bench brawls, there's no goons, there's no
yeah,
I like
and it
that when hockey was
was.
fun.
It's true. It's true.
I don't
Get
know.
online.
He can come on whenever he wants. That'll be part of the topic, one of the topics we have anyways with
Yeah.
I did some research on one of the ones that you were talking about. It's called whorephobia.
Oh my God.
There's actually
I
a name for it.
mhm.
So and it's part of, I guess, what Rich would be talking. It's kind of a mix of what Rich is complaining about tonight as well. So it's good.
Actually,
Oh,
you're right. That would be part of what he's talking about. Let me just go tell
we
him
have a
what
guest. Hello, Leroy.
Hola, how are you guys?
Hey, good. How are
Doing
you,
good.
Lee?
Not too shabby.
So when you come on, Rich, it's part of what we're going to talk about tonight anyway. It's
You watch hockey, Lee?
called
Yeah,
Whorephobia, and it's about women and
I'm not like
changing
hardcore, but
things.
I do watch.
Did you watch it before, like when it was actually hockey, or do you watch it now?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it actually more like back in the day when I was a kid and stuff.
When there was fighting and bench brawls and the goons,
Yeah,
and, like the fun stuff, right?
yeah, because I grew up in Dartmouth and there was a lot of like junior hockey, so there was a lot of that, and
Mhm.
Dartmouth.
we always watched the NHL and stuff like that.
Dartmouth.
Dartmouth.
Dartmouth. Ooh,
Dartmouth.
wait, my feet are cold. I got to go get my
And Halifax
slippers on.
has a pretty good Quebec Major Junior team, the Mooseheads. So there was lots of good stuff there. Like I saw Sidney Crosby play when he was a kid, when he played for Rimouski when they came to Halifax.
Okay.
I don't know anything about hockey except that
Yeah,
it's dumb.
when Rich comes on, he's going to talk. I guess there's a female sportscaster that wants to take all of fighting out and checking.
Yeah, I don't remember her. What's her name, Rich?
I don't even think it matters what her name is.
Oh, he
Yeah.
hates her. He hates her. He hates her. He hates her. Every freaking game, he gets angry before the game, just because he knows that she's going to be on. And when she
Hockey,
opens
yeah.
her mouth, it's like he hates her.
Yeah.
And what's
Well, I
so
mean-
bizarre in today's society, where all the women are like low cut and made up, and this part of our what we're going to talk about later on, she is like buttoned up to here, no visible makeup that you can really see, and she sits straight up, very straight back, with her hands in her lap.
Is she
Very,
part of like the CBC Sportscasters?
I don't know. I don't know
Probably.
these things. You're asking me very difficult questions.
I'm gonna see what I can find out about her.
It's like I don't even know her name. Like, Rich, is that chick part of the CBC newscasters or sportscasters? What's her name? Jennifer who? Botterill.
Jennifer Botter.
Yeah.
Oh, she used to be a hockey player. She was part of Team
Yeah,
Canada.
women's. Yeah, yeah.
Jennifer.
And there's
Botterill?
Botterill. I
Yeah,
think
she
it's
was on Team Canada. I
BOTT.
think when they
Oh,
won the
yeah.
gold or something.
Let's see
Yep.
here.
That's why she's mad.
And that's why Rich hates her, because she wants to change everything.
Mhm.
Because I mean, women's hockey, I guess just from this, women's hockey and men's hockey are two different sports.
Well, I guess once they get rid of all that in the NHL, then they can combine the WNHL and the NHL and have women play with
Do
the men.
they
Have-
have a WNHL though?
Yeah, I think so. Probably.
Do they?
I have no idea. Maybe.
Never heard of
They must
it.
have some women's leagues if they have a Team Canada women's team.
I
Hmm.
guess so.
But,
I don't know. Like, honestly, I know
I don't
nothing
know.
about
I'm sure they'll
hockey.
try to mix it. Or you'll just get trans guys joining the women's hockey league, and then the men will take first place like how they do and everything else. So
So have you guys seen that commercial? I think it's for, oh, Christian, you don't watch
I don't
TV.
have TV.
Well, Lee, maybe you have. I think it's for MasterCard. And it's transgender women who are presented with a MasterCard with the name that they have chosen for themselves and not their given male names. And
Oh,
how do you
well.
feel? How do you feel about that? Do you think that this is like,
I think that like I've had the conversation a few times because I think that on the level that there is certain people who are actually like trans and stuff, but I think that it's a lot lower than what we're seeing now because like I said, and I've had this conversation a few times before, I think that a lot of it like a large majority of them are more. It's more because it's trendy at the moment. Um,
right?
but I do think that there is
I would
some
say that that's
people who are, actually trans. But like I said, just the large majority of them right now, it's just kind of like the new trendy thing.
and I agree with you about the new trendy thing, but I tend to feel that that's more with the younger crowd, the young people that, as you said, it's trendy right now, so
Mhm.
they all think that they're going to be,
Well,
they
being gay was a fad, right? Remember, it started being cool to be gay, and now
Mhm.
yeah,
this is just the next level. It's
Yeah, and I mean
basically,
the same
it
kind
would
of
be
with
like
that.
me. It would be like me being turned saying I'm a female. I go through all that stuff, but then I'm only attracted to women.
Mhm.
so I
I
have
think that there's too much with it that
Weird.
it's like, oh, I'm this, but then I do this, and I'm like, well, that
Yeah.
contradicts exactly what the fuck you're saying, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Either way, though, if you're a
oh,
feminist, the trans movement is like a blow in the like it's putting the women's stuff way back farther. Same with the other thing that we have, the sexual independence revolution of women or whatever. It's putting the women's rights even farther back. Because who wins Women of the Year? A man. Who's winning all of the women's sports? Men.
wait, what? How the
yeah.
fuck does that happen? Woman of the year. Oh,
Well,
What's
that
his name? Caitlyn Jenner or whatever.
Caitlyn
yeah,
Jenner, and then
I
that
just realized.
that
Yeah.
trans health person for United States, that guy who's
Well,
or that
see,
girl. So
the
men
thing.
just it just shows that men are better because we just keep winning and winning and winning. Even as women, we win.
Well, the thing that I find about it is that, like, there's a lot of like trans women who want to be men. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine if you want to do it. But now they're like kind of putting up stink about men who want to transition to women. And I'm like, well, if you want women to be able to transition to men, then you've got to let men do it. But when it comes to sports and stuff, it's fucked up because, like, physically, 9 times out of 10, most men are usually a lot more physical than women, especially when it comes to like contact sports. Or there's even there was even a couple of like professional fighters who
Hmm.
are men transitioning into women's leagues and stuff, and it's fucking gross, man, because
You can't you
it's a
can't do
man.
that though.
Oh
The
yeah,
sheer physical strength of a man, regardless of whether
that's
you've
the thing.
transitioned or not.
And like
You've
I've seen a couple of these fights, and I'm like, how are you guys letting this happen? Because this dude who's transitioning to women is just beating the fuck out of these women.
Oh yeah.
I was like, good
well,
lord. But I mean, they can't say no, because if they say no to that, then they have to say no to letting women play, as men in men's leagues.
But if they
right.
say no to that, then they're going against the new science where a woman is not a woman. Anybody can be a woman, and what is a woman? Because
Yeah,
if you're a man that transitions that says you're a woman, now you're a woman. So if they
I
say
think
no, you're not allowed in, then you're not a woman. So
I think right now
crazy.
it's kind of peaking. And I mean, if I mean personally, from what I've seen now, it seems to more be kind of at the peak where it's starting to slow down a bit. Whereas like a few years ago, it was more like, oh, I'm trans, I'm trans. Everybody was trans all of a sudden. And now it seems to be a lot of people are kind of like backing down out of that. And that's why I think a
Yeah.
lot of it is that it's
See,
like a
I
trendy
find
thing.
that different. I find that different. I find that I see more and more of it. It's in my face today.
Yeah, I think it's
So
more like shown like a little bit more.
I hate it.
Well, all these kids that have been brainwashed and given the pills and all this stuff before they were 18, and then when they hit 18, 19, and they want to have kids, but they can't anymore because of the
Mhm.
treatments they got, there's going to be tons of suicide coming up in the next 5 to 10 years. So
Well, yeah, and like when it comes to kids, is like when they're younger, I don't think that they can make a decision, because I know that I couldn't make any sort of decision like that when I was 12, fucking 13 years old about my life. Um, and it's funny because I actually have like a friend of mine. She has a daughter, and within the last 2 years, all of a sudden her daughter now wants to be like is saying that she's trans and that she's going by a boy's name and stuff like that now. And so it's interesting to see, because I've never dealt with it like on a personal level. So speaking with my friend about her daughter, there was zero signs. Like, it's not like when she was a little girl she acted like a boy and like always wanted to wear boy clothes and blah blah blah, anything like that. So they've done is that they're dealing with like psychologists and stuff, and she's in Halifax as well. And the IWK, the hospital there, has actually like a whole department that deals with children like preteens and teens who are in that whole trance thing, and they try to help them with it and like decide if it's
That's
like a trend thing or if it's like something that they really feel and kind of thing. So it's weird to see, because I always assumed that, because like I said, I do believe that there are some people who are born male who feel like they're a female trapped in the body, or vice versa. But I definitely don't think it's I don't think it's like
but
35%
it
of the population or anything.
and at 8 or 10 years old, I'm sorry, but you just don't know that.
Oh, absolutely,
You
absolutely,
just don't
100%.
know
I agree.
that.
Because
You
like I
said
said,
12 or
my
13, but some of them are talking about it at 8 and 9 years old. And
Mhm.
some of the parents are like, well,
I
my
think when that happens, it's being fed to them.
That's the
absolutely.
Florida bill. That's that
Yeah.
bill that the gay people call it the "Don't Say Gay" bill, or the left wing,
Mhm.
which is it's not. It's just don't talk sex education to 5-year-olds.
That was, yes, yes.
So like, and
I
everybody, all
don't,
the liberals and left wing are against that, and then they're saying they turned it to the gay. Well, it doesn't matter gay or not. If
I
my
mean, a
neighbor
5,
came over and talked to my 5-year-old daughter and was talking about how he was sleeping with his wife that night and it was good and he did this and that and blah 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 blah, that guy would be knocked out and thrown out of my
Mhm.
apartment.
oh my God.
Like, could you
Like, I
imagine if
mean,
I went to
a
your place, Lee, and then started talking to your kids about my sex life?
Well, and that's just the
It's
thing, because
crazy.
yeah, to me, like I'm not anti-gay. I'm pro-gay, because I know lots of people who aren't straight. So it doesn't bother me at all. And my children are aware that boys can like boys, girls can like girls, and there's no problem with that. So if any of my children ever came out to me as gay, I don't want it to be a thing. I don't want it to be an issue. I don't want them to hide. I don't want them to be embarrassed or anything like that. But we also don't sit down and tell like graphic details about what two men can do or two women do, just like we don't talk about grave details about what a man and a woman do.
Mhm.
It's like
Exactly.
it's something that, like, my kids have an idea, but they don't know the mechanics. You know what I mean? Because they're
Mhm.
they're only little, so it's not something. And you're right. So whether it's straight or if it's gay, it's not something that has to go into
it's
graphic
just not
detail.
something that a
Yeah.
5-year-old needs to know.
And there
Well,
was a teacher complaining, a kindergarten teacher complaining in Florida because he couldn't talk about his sex life to the kids anymore because of that bill.
yeah, well,
Well,
that's
why are
something
you
wrong
talking
with
to
it. Like,
kindergarten kids about that?
yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's 'cause
Why does he have a job
And
in the school still?
because they're grooming the kids. That's why. It's just
mhm.
grooming to have the age of consent younger and younger and
Oh
younger.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's all
And
it's
that's the
for.
thing,
That's
like,
the only reason why you'd complain about it.
because they're at that age, they have no interest in
No,
learning
they
about
need to
that
learn about
stuff.
trees and colors and numbers and
Yeah, you know what I
that stuff.
mean?
They don't need to know about all this other crazy stuff. They can learn about that on their own as they get older and figure it out.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then, when sex education comes in when you're older, then that's another thing. But kindergarten and stuff, leave those kids alone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Teach us.
Just like Pink
Leave
Floyd.
those
Yeah,
kids
leave those
alone.
kids alone. But I don't
We
know.
are talking about that song today. I was trying to tell it to Rich. He wasn't really, didn't really know it.
Which song?
Pink Floyd, Another Brick in the Wall.
Oh, okay.
He's,
I like Pink Floyd.
yeah, no, he hates my music. All that
Pink
hippie
Floyd's
music.
good though. You can't go wrong with Pink Floyd.
That movie was good. If you watch that movie, the Another Brick in the Wall, the Pink Floyd movie,
No,
it's
I've
a
not.
total different movie. That if you're straight, like I didn't like watching it when I was straight. If I
Mhm.
was stoned, I'd be like, whatever. But if I was on acid, total different movie.
yeah, yeah, but I
Yeah,
That
mean,
well, I'm
movie
sorry.
was it
most
just it was the best movie ever.
I
most
don't do
movies
acid anymore.
most
No.
movies or anything is completely fucking different on acid.
And Beatles' Yellow Submarine. The first time I ever did acid, we ended up at some dude's house. Like there was a party.
yeah,
We ended up at like 4 a.m. at his place, and he had Beatles'
yeah,
Yellow Submarine playing. That's how I always remember that movie.
that's funny. You know what's so funny? Might be like a what's the word? Like a bold statement or something. I fucking hate the Beatles. I
Oh
hate them.
yeah.
I just think they're absolutely the worst. And like everyone loves them so much, and I'm like, you guys realize that they were like the Justin Biebers of like the fucking '60s. Like they were horrible.
Which
And
Beatles?
So
Like,
any of them.
see, I don't like the early Beatles. I like the White Album, and like a couple albums, but I don't like the Twist and Shout and Hold My Hand and Love Me Do crap.
Yeah, I don't
I
like
don't like
really
that.
any of it. And everyone's always like going on about how much they love John Lennon. I fucking hate John Lennon.
John Lennon's the worst.
He was
He's
a
an idiot.
woman
George
beating,
Harrison.
child abusing fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
And
George
everyone's like,
Harrison was the best.
George Harrison is my favorite Beatle.
Yeah.
Paul
George
McCartney was
Harrison was the
wimpy.
drummer, right?
No,
No, that was
that's
Ringo
Ringo
Starr.
Starr.
Ringo Starr, right? Yeah, yeah.
He's my
Yeah.
second favorite, only because he was the conductor on that Thomas the Tank show.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right.
After
George
George
Harrison
Carlin.
was the
George
quiet
Harrison.
one, and
Yeah.
he wrote before John Lennon really started with his writing a lot. He wrote most of their music,
Oh, okay.
and he sort of whenever he piped up, because I just recently watched the Beatles story. Whenever he piped up with an idea of something, he always got shot down. So he
Mhm.
sort of stayed in the background and was quiet, but he was really what they called him, the quiet genius.
Oh,
Some of
okay.
his songs were my favorite from the Beatles.
Yeah, but I mean, having said that, I really did like a lot of the later years of John Lennon.
I don't like
I
John
liked
Lennon
his
at all.
music.
He would have voted for Trudeau too, and I can't stand
I just find that because I listened to a lot of music, especially when I was younger, and it was always because when I was little, I'd be home with my mom. My dad was always working and stuff, and she played everything from fucking 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, all that shit.
Isn't that
And
cool?
when the Beatles came on, I couldn't stomach it, man. I don't know why. I just didn't like any of it.
So do you like the Stones?
I don't mind the Stones, but I find that the Stones, again, like you hear 4 or 5 of the songs, you've heard every song, you know, like. But what I thought was weird is probably about 20 years ago, when I was a bit younger, like a bunch of guys I knew my age were freaking out because the Rolling Stones were coming to play in Moncton. This is back when I was still in Halifax. I'm like, why are you guys stoked to see the fucking Stones? I'm like, they were 70 years old 40 years ago.
No.
Really? And I'm like, that can't be a lively show, man. These guys are pushing 80 years old back then. Good
So
lord.
I saw them probably about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
I
I
broke
definitely
my tooth at
wasn't
that
interested in.
concert.
Oh, really?
I broke my tooth at the no, I didn't break it. I chipped my tooth at the concert. I went to lean forward. I dropped something. I went to lean forward to pick something up, not realizing that there was a clear divider between the roads,
Oh,
and
right.
I smashed my mouth on the fucking divider. And the concert hadn't even started.
Oh,
I
good
wasn't
lord.
drunk. The concert hadn't started, and already I had an injury.
See, I don't like the Rolling Stones.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
mean, they're okay. Like I said, you hear 4 or 5 of their songs.
I don't like
they're great.
Aerosmith. I can't stand AC/DC.
Aerosmith's stuff in the 70s is way better than the stuff they
Yeah.
put out in the 90s.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. But
But I mean, that goes
I
with
just don't like any of it.
almost all music. 70s is way
Yeah.
better than,
And most artists, and like I said, this might be a bold statement too. Most artists, when they have drug problems, create the best music. When they
Oh, yeah.
get clean, their music's shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't know. Did Rich join us? I see his
Rich is
picture
here.
up there.
He's just waiting.
He's just got his picture up. I heard him hacking.
Yeah, I
He
don't
was
know.
yeah, he's probably getting a good smoke going on or some dabs.
How about the
Hey,
Monkeys? Do you like them, Lee?
No,
hey,
not
we're
at
the
all.
Monkeys or the
monkey.
Beatles? Which one do you like better?
Oh, I don't know. They're both cheesy.
The Monkeys had
Uh,
a better TV show.
yeah, and I think that's where I fucking hated them, was on the show, because
Yeah.
the show was the corny shit ever.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was, but it was fun. Davy Jones. Every little 13-year-old girl was madly in love with Davy Jones.
Yeah, I think that one was kind of on every once in a while when I was younger. I think that one's a bit before me. So,
How about the
Excuse
Partridge
me, are
Family?
you calling me old?
well, no, it was just a bit before me though.
How about the
Yeah,
Partridge Family? Was that
I
on
don't
for you?
really know. That's the one with Marsha. No, that's the Brady.
No, that's Brady.
yes,
Yeah,
no,
The Partridge
no,
Family had Susan Day. That's all I remember because I liked her.
David
yeah.
Cassidy.
David Cassidy.
I know who David Cassidy is, but I don't think I'm
They
aware
did
of the
that song.
show, but I don't think I've ever really seen it. Same with the
Never.
Brady Bunch. It was on, but I don't think I ever actually paid attention to any of it.
I don't know, man. I just
because
assume everybody is my age.
because
Clearly,
yeah, like it was on when I was little, and I didn't really pay
you're
attention
too
to it.
little for that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
I just figure everybody's my age and we all know the same stuff. And
Yeah,
I don't, I guess I don't really think of ages, I guess,
yeah, I usually don't too. It's just like every time when you
when we're
like,
talking like this.
then
But
you're like,
I'm,
oh yeah, there is a difference. You know what I mean? And you're like,
yeah,
that's
like
when you
quite a
care.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
The difference is Bonnie watched it when it was live. I watched it when it was on like the 4th reruns, and Lee would have had to seen it on like the 10th rerun.
yeah.
Just remember that your ankles are still fair game, buddy.
well, Bonnie couldn't watch it, pre-electricity, but once that came into, then we were able to.
Whoa, whoa,
And they were
whoa.
black
Shall
and white, and she has the black and white LCD.
shall we rename this whole segment to "It's Pick on Bonnie"?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's all good. I don't take offense to any kind
Well,
of shit like that.
it's
that's why
funny
we
too
joke
because
about it.
every once in a while, like certain things will come up that'll be like, holy shit! Like the other day, my kids asked, we were watching something. I think it was like old Simpsons or something, and somebody said something about like a VHS, and my kids go, "What's a VHS?" Which is acceptable. I was fine with that. I'm like, "Oh, VHS. It's like like it's got a movie on it. You put the tape down. It's like kind of like a DVD." And then they both go, "They're like, what is a DVD?" And then I was like, "Oh my god."
Wow.
I was
Yeah.
like, I was like, I can't. I was like, I just realized that there's a whole generation of kids that have no idea what a fucking DVD is. And same with because I'm like trying to explain it. I'm like, like the little disc, and they're like, I have no idea. And then I was like, oh my god, like they've never seen a computer with a disk drive either.
No,
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my lord, that kind of made me feel old. I was like, you don't know
they
what a
never
DVD
played
is?
CDs. They always had streaming music.
Yeah, because like my oldest boy, he has because he's 23, but my
Oh
little
yeah.
ones, they're 10 and 8, so everything's been streamed, even their
Yeah.
movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the occasional time we had the DVD, but they didn't pay attention. We just put the DVD in, they just assume that it's something streaming, right? But all the
Mhm.
music, all the TV, all their games, even their
Mhm.
video games that they play, it's all like streamed. Like
Down. Yeah.
we
Yep.
buy the digital downloads. They don't usually get the actual game like cartridges or anything.
Oh, what a space saver that is too.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, I mean, definitely helps, and that way they don't lose their games or their movies or anything, right?
Mhm. Shush, what do you want, girl? Lay down
Rich, are
on
you
the
here?
bed. I don't. I think he.
He's
Oh,
here, but he's
maybe.
not.
Yes, sir, I am.
There he
Oh,
is.
there he is. Lay down, Shu.
I've been
Lay down
listening
in
the
your
whole
bed.
time, just
I
Lay
know.
down.
I figured you were
calming
late,
down,
so I
chilling.
figured we would.
Yeah. Did you hear? Did you hear
Come on.
that I was being picked on the whole time?
I heard lots
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah. And all of them were against me.
No,
What's that noise? Somebody
Lee.
playing a musical instrument?
It was
Just Lee
Lee
tapping
that
on his
did it.
desk.
I was just like bouncing a pencil.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we're going to have any visitors tonight.
I don't know.
Would be cool. Oh,
We'll
he
see if
turned.
your
He
friend
turned his.
comes, or some of the South Africans, or who knows.
Yeah.
It
It
doesn't
was
matter.
it was a lively chat last week. So
Yeah,
we
no
have
doubt.
we have a pretty good what do you call it?
Topics that
Table.
you
I wanted to call it table of contents. Topics. Yes, table of contents. We have some pretty good topics tonight.
feed my cat 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about as Christian likes to call it, horror culture.
Yeah, but there's a name for it. It's whorephobia, because you know how they have to add a phobia to everything.
Okay, so we're gonna
Horophobic or horophobic. They
horror
always have to
phobic.
add the phobic. Yeah, like the homophobic, a sex, like the
Yeah,
homophobic,
yeah.
like all those things. So it's a horophobic.
So whorephobia is one of the topics. I think we're probably going to end up talking a little bit about hockey
The
too,
hockey.
women
Sure we are.
and hockey. What were the other ones, Christian? There
We
was
could
other
talk
ones.
about Cuck Smith.
Will Smith. Yes.
Oh my god.
That's
That's
kind of like that.
What
that's
was your take though, Lee?
I don't know. That's a whole fucking thing because like I don't care about that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And like the problem is like I love all those stupid fucking memes, and like me and all my friends were always like passing back for like stupid memes and shit. But like all of this week has been like 99% of it has been fucking Will Smith. And I'm like, oh my fuck. And like there's so many things to it from the way that I look at it too. It's because like, first of all, I don't understand why he's fucking sticking up for her because she's been banging everything that walks since they've been together. Plus, she's been on talk shows emasculating him, talking about his fucking sex life, how he's no good in bed, how he's a loser and he tried to kill himself, and they're like laughing at him. And plus, it's well known that the whole issue, the only reason that she's with Will Smith, and it's been well known for the last 30 fucking years, is because she was so in love with Tupac back when before all this started, and Tupac told her that no, I'm not going to be with you because he was too bad. Like for her, he's like, I'm no good for you. And he told her to go with Will because Will was making the money and he'd be able to give her the life that she wanted. And like everybody knew this.
Yeah.
So this entire time he's been with this woman who never wanted to be with him, only wanted his money. And then, like he's up there slapping and the other thing too, if that had been anybody else other than Chris Rock, he wouldn't have done a fucking thing.
Yeah, it was
Like
because of his Chris Rock's
Yeah,
stature.
I don't think I
Yeah,
don't think
like
that
He's a little guy.
stood up. Yeah, he's a little guy. He could have knocked
Yeah.
him out if it was a punch even. But I
yeah,
don't think he stood up
Yeah.
for his wife. I think because he's so broken inside, he wanted to be a man and get a piece of his ego back,
yeah.
and he
And
did
that
it for himself, I think.
You know
and
what?
that's
That's a really good point. That's a really good
but
point there.
and I
Perhaps.
agree with that, but what he ended up doing was making himself look more like a bigger fucking loser
Exactly.
because he
He
looks
did.
like, oh, he's standing up for Jada and everyone's like laughing at her. Everyone like before everyone felt bad for him. Now everyone's laughing at him. They're like, what a fucking cuck, like what a loser. You know what I mean? And like there's been numerous other people, not even comedians, who have made fun of Jada about all that stuff, and he's never said shit. But
Mhm.
because Chris Rock's like 5'9", 140 pounds soaking wet, he thought it was like, oh, I'm gonna be a fucking tough guy and go
Like,
slap him. Like, do it
yeah,
to anybody else, dude. Like
Mhm.
Will
get
Smith
your
would have got
lights
shit
punched
rocked.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just thought it was like, for me, from a woman's perspective, it's like, who the fuck are you? I don't
Mm,
need you to stand up for me. Like,
mm.
you're my husband, and I get that, but I can fight my own battles and I can take care of my own self. I don't need you to stand up for me and publicly
And
humiliate me the way you did,
and
because
yeah,
she probably wasn't humiliated, quite honestly, but, if I put myself in that position, I would have been, humiliated that my man made a fool out of himself in
exactly.
front of everybody.
Yeah, because he looks like a fucking idiot going up there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
he
like
did.
they're all a part of that like whole Hollywood entertainment thing. So, and goddamn well, if you're going to any show where like a comedian is on there, he's going to roast people and just
Uh-huh.
go. And if you can't handle that, then get out of that fucking business. He
That's
didn't,
right, he should have been there.
yeah, you know what I mean? And like, there's been so much that I've
You
seen this
don't
week, and it's
do
like, holy fuck,
Yeah,
dude.
you don't go to a comedy show and sit in the front row and not think that you're not gonna get heckled,
Yeah, you
because
know what I mean?
you
And
are.
like, it's all a part of the show, and it's all just
Yeah,
like for fun and stuff.
yeah.
And it's like, really, dude? And like, and first of all, even if you're gonna go up and try to be a big man and fucking beat up the guy who's talking some shit about your wife, you don't slap another man because that is the fucking pansiest thing I've ever seen, man. Like, good lord.
And
Rich
Chris
is
Rock didn't even
convinced
flinch
that
either.
he didn't even get it in the face. Rich is convinced that he got it in the shoulder, but I saw Chris's face
I
when
think
he
I
went
Yeah,
to
it,
his
it looked to
side.
me like he definitely hit him, but it didn't look like much of a hit
he pulled
because
back a little.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's also the whole like was this whole like thing like a setup, like was it a bit? Because on the other hand too, he like barely hit him, and you look at Chris Rock's like body as it's coming, he was
Yep.
waiting for it, and then
But
And
he
because he
like
his
slapped him.
yeah,
No
and
man slaps another man, like, unless
exactly,
it's a
that's what I
setup,
just said.
right?
Who's going to slap another man?
yeah.
Like as a man, like that's weird, dude. Like why would
But
you?
is it really a setup? Because we just heard today that he resigned from the
Resign.
academy.
Well, I watched a
So,
show about that, about the body language,
Mhm.
mm,
and Chris Rock leaning forward. They said that there's so much lights that usually if you watch stand-up comedians and people on stage, if they're looking for somebody in the crowd, they'll lean forward to see past the lights.
Yeah.
And so that's what he was doing, leaning forward to see what what Will was doing, like coming towards him. So they
Yeah.
said that's possibly that he wasn't leaning forward to be set up, and his hands behind his back is the royal posture or something like that, and it means like dominance
Yeah.
and probably holding his hands back from aggression. So he did make a fist. They showed in slow motion. Chris Rock made a fist, but then he put his hands behind his back again to restrain
Yeah.
himself. But it would have been better if it was like a full-out brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that would have
somebody
made
said
it so much
it was
better.
going across Facebook. Like, would anybody have known it was
Exactly.
the awards if it hadn't been that little tough tussle?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, because that's the other part that makes me think that it might have been like a setup, because who watches the Oscars anymore? Nobody. I don't know a single
Well,
person.
I almost said the Grammys. That's how much
Yeah,
I
and like
watched.
Yeah, I don't
I
even know what
would
it was. Oscars,
I
Academy,
wouldn't
Grammys.
even
I
have
have no idea.
known that happened if he hadn't done that, and that's what everybody seems to say.
hmm hmm
And I'm like, I don't know. Like I said,
And
I don't really get into that stupid fucking
It is
People
dumb.
magazine or like National Enquirer magazine bullshit. But this was so heavily saturated this week that you can't help but not
you can't
avoid it.
miss it.
If
Yeah.
you go online, you're going to see everything about it, and you can't get away from it.
Yeah. No, we don't get into anything like that either. It was just we happened to
There was
Well,
nothing different to talk
Rich
about other
found
than
it.
Ukraine.
oh yeah, and I think
That's
that's the
all.
thing, is
It's
that
just
it's just
flip the switch.
yeah, it was just something, it's like a lot of people I know don't give a shit, but we were all forced to. We had no option. Like if you went online, that's what you saw.
Oh, that's it. I wasn't even watching. I was scrolling through Facebook and somebody said, "Can you believe that Will Smith just punched Chris Rock?" And I thought, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And then I read a little bit further and it was the Oscars. And anyway, Rich Googled it and found it and we watched it and it was like, wow, I can't fucking believe that happened. And then, like you
Yeah.
said, it got oversaturated and everybody was sending out all those memes and everything, and it's over with now, but we just thought it was something, kills a good 10 minute of time
So,
talking.
some of the memes that came up were fucking great though. One of the funniest ones I saw was, it was like an old picture of like a guy fighting in like a Second World War, and he wrote something like, "My dear," like it's portrayed like he's writing to his like girl back home, and he's like, "My dearest Penelope, it's been 3 days of Will Smith memes," and he's like, "I fear it will never end," and I thought that was great.
Yeah,
Because
it's a little much.
that's kind of how I was like feeling by Wednesday and Thursday. I'm just like, holy fuck, dude! Like this is
Mm.
enough.
And I think that's how everybody was feeling with all the COVID, when everything was so thick and heavy, and it's like,
Mhm.
enough already. We want something different to
Well,
talk
as we're
about
talking
now.
about this, I'll ask Bonnie, if you had an Oscar stuck in you, would you let this go into your body to retrieve it?
Good lord,
Good
what is
Lord,
that?
what the fuck is
That's a
that?
robot with magnetic slime.
Good lord.
So they can go into your body to grab things that you accidentally swallow or
Oh
get
wow.
stuck in you.
Wow, yeah,
I
I would.
I guess that would
Pretty
be
fucking cool.
that'd be like better than like invasive surgery and stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Look at that though. I would do it if I really had to have
Yeah.
something.
Look into your brain to get stuff.
Oh wow.
But look at how small that is. Like, where's
How
well,
the fuck would you get a battery in your
Get a
brain
battery.
though?
That's your esophagus, whatever it's supposed to be. But yeah,
look at
I wonder if it could do stuff like, yeah, it could probably do stuff like remove like bullets and fragments and stuff like that too.
yeah,
Because I
yeah.
know
that's
with like
cool.
shootings and stuff, a lot of times they have problems with like fragments that they can't get to. It's too dangerous and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's pretty cool. I think I would do it. Wouldn't you?
I would do it over her. I would rather have that robot in my body than Dr. Tam.
Is
And
she
to
an
have
actual
her in your body, or to have
Yeah.
just to listen to her?
Even her like going in to retrieve something from my body, I would rather have that little robot than Dr. Tam.
Oh, you're funny. You're funny.
Well,
So
you don't
what's
agree?
the I actually never really even thought about it. The fact that you can come up with a comparison like that is
Well, it's easy to compare. You either have
it,
Dr. Tam inside of you or the little robot.
I was just going to say who's in the background, but it's you walking.
It's me feeding my cat again.
I see you. So what's our next subject there, Mr. Boss?
Oh, I don't care. Um,
We had an agenda.
we can talk about the women, the McGill University study on the whorephobia and slut shaming and the
Okay.
sexual liberated woman. So you wanted to talk
Okay.
about like the women, the fake versus the real. So the
Now,
fake eyelashes, the fake this, the fake that, and I said it was all part of whore culture.
Mhm.
so, and I
So
said that women don't dress for men as a rule. I mean, there is a small percentage of women that dress for men, but as a rule, women dress for each other. So we look to compete with the one over on the other side of the room. We look to make sure that we look if just as good, if not better, than the next one. So we put on the fancy ass clothes and the low cleavage cut shirts, and though I don't know why we wanna show our boobs off. I think that might be for the men,
Mhm.
that part. But, like, the false eyelashes and the long, fake fingernails and stuff like that, that's not for, other men, and the women, I feel, that think that that they do that to see if they can attract a man, I think they're messed up. Like, they
Mhm.
don't
Fake,
really
yeah.
know they don't know what they're because most men that I know aren't attracted to, a woman that looks like that, a woman that looks like a stripper, basically.
well, it's the
But I think it's
And
that
I
because like I don't find it like unattractive or attractive. It's just like, if a girl gets her nails done, I'm like, oh, that's cool, you got your nails done. But I'm not like, ooh,
Mhm.
look at your nails. You know what I
no,
mean? It's just
no.
like they could do, like whatever they want for it. But yeah, you're right. It's not like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna go tonight. I got to make sure I find a girl with long eyelashes, long nails, and like all this. They do it for themselves because, like you're right. Most dudes don't give a
That's
fuck.
shallow, anyways, to just
Yeah, that's
Mhm,
the
for
thing.
her
Like,
looks. But
mhm.
um, a lot. I was just saying that a lot of it's the part of the whore culture is like like it's all taken from porn stars and strippers, right?
mhm,
That's where the
Yep.
style for women comes from.
mhm,
And like the cum catcher tattoos, the belly button rings, the pierced nipples and stuff, and that's all from porn and strippers,
mhm,
and that's how women are getting their styles these days. So if you want to look like a whore to, not every man, but to the average man, that's how you're going to be treated.
mhm,
It's just how it goes.
But okay, so but on the other side of the coin, like, look at the celebrities.
Hmm.
Nobody treats them like whores
They're
and
whores.
strippers.
Yeah, they are.
Nobody no, you can't say that.
And they are treated like that by the other celebrities. Look at how many of those women are with so many different celebrity dudes, and
mhm,
it's just how they are.
No,
But not
it's
all of them have like
not
what
all
you
of them,
see
but
like from outside. But I'm not saying that all the women that do that are that they're just taking their style from whore culture. That's what it was. And the study at McGill University basically says it right here is that for the double standard between men and women is here. So what they have to do is get rid of the let me see what it says here. We have to eliminate the good girl privilege and make them into bad girls so
what
they
the
can
hell does that
embrace their
even mean?
sexuality. So basically, the girls that like women that want to just dress normal, they don't want the tattoos, they don't want the piercings, they don't want the fake stuff. That's the
Mhm.
good girl image, like
Yeah.
they're honest, they're loyal to their men, whatever. Get rid of them because they're hurting women's sexual liberty. So it says here,
Oh.
slut shaming, whorephobia is a part of that to get rid of the slut-shaming and whorephobia, you have to get rid of the good girls so that all the girls are bad girls. And it says this is the only way. These are the only ways that sexual liberated women will be accepted in the country, like in culture.
Where does this
So
shit come from?
McGill University. So it says this is part of the women's. So like if, and then there was an article that women 45 and older can't find men that want them, and they did a study to men to find out why, like, who are these men with, and they're with 27 to 30-year-old women because they don't want used up whore 45 to 50-year-old women that have been with tons of dudes. And I've been saying this for a long time that as a guy, I don't want to go, like, in the grocery store, there's 12 aisles. If I walk down each aisle and there's some dude that, oh, there's my ex, she's like, there's my ex, I slept with that guy, and every aisle, it's like, oh, whatever. Then every cashier and then every bagger and whatever. Guys don't want that. And then they're saying, well, that's the two-sided, because guys can sleep with whoever they want, and that's okay, but women can't. Well, it's only okay because women accept it. If women didn't accept that and called the man whore and said, I don't want to date a man whore, they don't have to accept it. The women are the people that are accepting it. And if men don't want women that are like that, that's up to the man. So you can't say that that's like to be treated equal. We want to be treated like these women are saying they want to be treated equal as men. So we want to sleep with 40 men, but you have to accept that, or else you're being a
Well, I'm
whorephobic.
going to tell you quite honestly, I don't know one single woman that says to her girlfriends, "Hey, I want to sleep with like 40 fucking dudes by the time I'm 45."
You do know one. I won't say her name, but you do know one.
I don't know. Anyone?
I know you do know because she just told me the other day. So you do know one.
Oh, yeah, I do. You're
Okay.
right.
So there you
But
go.
the thing is, most women don't do shit like that. Most
No,
women don't think like that. Most
but I don't know
most
many men. Like I've never spoke to Lee or to Rich or to anybody that says, you know what, I want to sleep with 40, 50 women.
I was just about to go there. I was going to say, but by the same token, I don't know any fucking personally any one man
Yeah.
that says shit like that. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. It does happen. Women do sleep with lots of guys and guys do sleep with lots of women. But I
Mhm.
mean, I don't think it's something that anybody sets out to do. And I certainly there is a double standard though, because
Mhm.
when a guy has slept with 50 women in his lifetime, he's like, oh, he's a good old boy. He's a rock star. He's like,
Mhm.
he's still got it. But if a woman sleeps with 50 guys in her lifetime, she was a slut or a
Mhm.
whore.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's very double standard,
Oh, yeah.
But
you
if the
know?
guy doesn't want the slut whore, why is that? Why is the man a whorephobic?
Why the fuck should he go why should that 50-year-old man not wanting the 50-year-old woman slut whore have a 20 something young virtually unsullied?
Mhm.
Why? What the fuck makes this 50-year-old balding has been
It's
himself?
because she's in training for being that 50-year-old
Yeah.
slut whore way down the line.
They say when women
Ah,
hit
Got to
their
get there somehow.
clearly I'm going
mid
to be
30s.
outnumbered in this, but
No, I'm just saying that that's what the men are going for, is that their preference is they don't want, and maybe these guys haven't slept with 10, 20, a whole bunch of women. So they don't want a woman that's been all around the whole neighborhood. And every aisle in the grocery store has one of their dudes that they slept with or a woman that they slept with.
yeah, but
Maybe they don't want that.
at 50 years old, and I'm using the number 50, and
Mhm.
I'm using your regular average guy that you and I would know,
Mhm.
just regular average. 50 years old, most guys are nothing special, but they expect
No.
to have something special in their partner, their woman.
Yeah.
They want that 20 little nubile young body, that, little hard body.
It's
Why
not even
should they
really
have
about that, to be honest. Like even like I can tell you, like
I
even for me or for
disagree.
whatever, it's
Okay.
about if you're with somebody if you meet a 45, 50-year-old woman who's had like 30 relationships, they obviously don't know how to hold a relationship. Either their fault or the people that they pick. So you know what? I don't want that person. So if I meet somebody else who's 50 who's only had a couple of relationships, hey, that they know how to do a relationship. So that's somebody that I would want. If I was like somebody in my family, I won't say who was just looking for fun all these years, he'd be looking for that person in their 50s that's just there for fun. But now that he's in his 70s, he has a reputation, and no woman wants to settle down with him because his reputation is he's just out there for fun. So it backfires on men too. It backfired on him, and now he knows he's going to die alone with nobody by his side, and it's depressing him. So these women in their 40s and 50s that have this article here that they're getting depressed because they're going to be alone, or they have to settle for somebody who doesn't really want them and thinks they're a whore. Well, that's your reputation. That's your character that you put on yourself. I don't
It's
know.
because a whore isn't really.
I just like that word because it bothers people. So if you say like a
Yes.
moist whore, there's
Oh,
nothing
that's
better than
really
a moist whore.
disgusting.
Then people don't like that. That's the only reason why I say it, because people hate those two words, and if you use them together, it's even better.
Moist whore.
Yeah, there's
Well,
nothing better than a moist whore in the
a
morning.
whore is a little harsh
I just like it. Yeah, it
of a
sounds good.
word, but I don't know. I think that there's a huge double standard when it comes to
But it
men
comes
and
from women.
women.
So if women drew the line and said, you know what, I don't want a whore man. There you go.
Again, I don't know any woman that wants a whore man.
I do, because
I
then they
don't know
say
any women
he's
that wants a
experienced,
player.
because they're like, oh, look at him, he's nice, he has a big pocket, he's experienced, been with tons of women, he has lots of money, I know lots of women like that. I can just only talk from like the people that I know, and women that I know, and men that I know, and their relationships,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that's how I just watch and listen.
So does
I was
anybody
married
else
for
want to weigh in
25
on
years.
this?
I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it. I think the whole thing is just a fucking mess with both men and women anyway. Like, if you look at it now, even from, 30, 30, 40 years ago, everything's changed. Like, most people I know, they're all like gonna die alone. Like, relationships don't really exist anymore at all. Like, for every
You
relationship I
actually,
know of, I know 20 right off the top that, like, for every 2 people that are in a fucking relationship, I know at least 20 who aren't. And, you know, some of them are good men or women, some of them are shitty, but like, that's my whole thing on with like social media has ruined all that. Like, I think back about like when my parents, my parents were married. They were so, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that my parents had a fucking fantastic relationship, because that's a whole other bag of fucking worms right there. But, pretty much all the adults, most of the adults, when I was a kid, it was weirder to see a single adult than it was to see married. And now everyone I know, even my kids and their friends, most of their parents, they don't have like mom and dad married or together or anything. And so
well, there's just a lot of
it's
single
it's
parents. Yeah.
it's weirder to see people dating than, to me personally, it's weirder to see people dating. And honestly, and I'm not even trying to sound like, pessimistic or anything, but most people, they start dating someone, I'm like, yeah, well, that won't last very long anyway. And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't. Just from
Yeah,
the
you know what?
experience, it's not me saying like, oh, relationships are bullshit, they don't work.
Mhm.
Just from my own experience, man. I've been with, you know, numerous people, and I'm like, oh, this is great, this is fantastic. It ends. And it always does. It always does the whole typical start out really awesome. You guys have fun. And then once that honeymoon period is over, you guys stick around with each other for a little bit longer because you can't really, you don't really know what to do. But all in the end, it ends up breaking up anyway. And that's because of the advent of so many things with like just society in general. Like like I said, most people I know are fucking alone.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the
it's
way that
really
people
sad
are abroad
today.
now, is that like somebody said relationships end every day, but that when you have that mindset, then your relationships will end every day. So,
Oh yeah.
and they're picking people for the wrong reasons. That's another thing. But I
Mhm.
grew up
Because
differently.
people don't
I
want to be alone.
I grew
And,
up in an
and
apartment building, and it was rare to see people in the building that had a mother and a father.
oh really?
Like I
Wow.
grew up with a single mother, the girl next door to me had a single mother. The guy across the hall, like my other friend, had a single father. My other friend was just him and his mother and his brother. There was hardly any like mother father people in where I lived in that building.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird. It was different. But I
And-
just know, like, I don't know.
And what you were saying, Bonnie, too, that's the other thing. A lot of the people I know who are in relationships are solely in relationships because they don't want to be alone. Doesn't mean that they're into the person or that they like the person. They'll be with anybody as long as they're not alone. And I can't do that, man.
Yeah, that's
like,
the wrong reason.
holy fuck, I can't
No,
be with
that's
someone that's,
They can't afford to pay rent
it's
by
like,
themselves. You got to split rent with someone.
what was that,
Yeah.
Rich?
So you got to split rent with someone. People just get in a relationship so they could split rent. It's convenience.
mhm,
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes that happens too.
mhm.
You
But
keep
it's like,
fading in and out, Rich.
Appreciate that. I feel like that behind my eyes too.
Behind your eyes.
Yeah.
But that was the study
Um,
that they did. So it was about liberating women. So they liberated these women, and now men don't want them, and they're complaining because of it. That's all.
But I mean, like the whole like study on this, like stupid. Like who the fuck cares?
Exactly.
Like I don't care, dude. Like
well, I was just going to
if
say that, like, how much money was spent on
yeah,
this study?
Oh, tons of money. If it's a McGill University, what do you think?
yeah.
Tons
Yeah.
of
Like
money was spent
like
on that
stupid
crap.
shit like that, it doesn't alter our lives. If you're a dude and you want to go be a whore, go do it. And if you can't find anyone, that's tough tits on you.
That's
Same
exactly
with
same
if
for
you're a
women.
woman, same thing.
Mhm.
If you want to go and bang everyone, go right ahead, do whatever you want, but don't, if you can't find a dude, then whatever. But like they're spending money on this stupid shit, like when people are
Yeah.
the fucking like starving to death, like, oh, let's study whores. Like that's it's like really
Yeah.
like holy fuck, man.
And then the conclusion was like, it's funny to me because when I read the conclusion of their study was to get rid of good girls and make all women whores, and then that will end all this.
See,
Like
this is
that study
the
there was
kind of
just like
shit that
so
kind
stupid.
of that pisses me off when I hear shit
Because
like
that's what they're
that.
teaching kids, right? Like that's basically what they're going to be teaching kids is be a
They're
whore and
diminishing like good
yeah,
good women.
good values.
I'm not values.
So just
I don't
values,
want to
not just
single
women.
out.
It's men
Yeah,
and
I was
women.
going to
Just
say I
good
don't want to
values.
single out women.
Yeah.
They're
No.
diminishing good values.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. And in today's society, holy fuck, like I mean, that's pretty much all we have left to keep us from
Well, part of the social credit score is going to be traditional family values. Well, what are those traditional family values? Because they're not pushing those traditional family values now. Is it going to be the new traditional family values or the old traditional ones? So that's going to be
Yeah.
interesting when that credit
So
score
what's
comes out.
going to happen? What's going to happen if this thing comes to fruition? There is not going to be any old
No.
family or values any longer because all the old stuff, all those people will be gone or
Oh
just
yeah, they'll
about
be gone,
gone.
and you can't
You
even do it
know,
anyways. Like the American dream is basically the North American. It's the North American dream. You get married, you have kids, or you go to school, you get a good job, you get married, you have your house, your car, your blah 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 blah, and all this stuff. Then you retire, go on vacation, do all this crap. You can't do that anymore. Who can buy a house anymore, anyways? But
Yeah.
and you
like,
want to know what's really funny is from the beginning of time, each generation, the generation before them has said that the new generation is the worst. The
yeah,
new world is, I mean, we're all going to hell in a handbasket. We're all going to implode, blah, blah, blah. Like it just progresses through each generation. And that's exactly what's going on right now, though,
But
because,
yeah,
I think people say that, but I think it's the opposite.
well,
The older generations, like
yes,
if you go back 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years,
yeah.
it was worse. Like for me, like at least I think because like I think about like the generation my father came from and like holy fuck man, like my problem was with him was like grow with the fucking times because like they were all majority of them were racist and they hated gay people and they had stick their fucking nose into everything that had nothing to do with them, and they just wouldn't grow with the times, man. Like, it's like the 80s, and my dad was still like, oh, you can't play with that black kid. I'm like, we live in a fucking black neighborhood. And my dad was like,
Mhm.
racist as shit. And I was like, you need to grow with the times, you fucking idiot. Like,
I don't,
and I,
what
see, I
I
didn't
think,
grow up in that either because I grew up in Toronto when there was all races. People didn't care about gay. Like
you,
it was,
you
I don't
know
know, it
that
was.
that also could be a good point too, because I grew up in Nova Scotia, and at that time, that shit was 20 years behind because it was still, racist as hell, and
Yeah, Niagara Falls is still racist.
yeah, and that's the thing,
Like they are behind. So
and it just
yeah,
blows my mind because I'm like, it's 2022. Like, I don't give a fuck what color you are, man. I don't give a fuck who you like to sleep with. I couldn't give a shit. And I find the older people, like the grandparents and the great parents and stuff, they're still, if they're still alive, it's 2022, and they're like, "Oh, how come you don't own a house and two cars and have a picket fence? And oh, why are they letting those fucking Indians work here?" I'm like, really, dude? Like, what? I don't get it. Like, they don't grow with it, and that's why I've always felt like the older ones are always so much fucking worse.
Well, I feel that it's not necessarily that the times are worse than the times before. It's
Yeah,
just that each generation will always say, I mean, and I'm part of it myself today, will
yeah,
always say like this fucking world today is like horrible. In back in my day, it was
yeah,
so
yeah.
much better. And there's always going to be a back in my day.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
And
well,
not,
hockey was better in the 80s.
a lot of things were better in the
So I can tell you
70s.
that. But like in 20 years from now, the kids, there's going to be trans people and gender fluid people and this people and that people. And they'll be like, my grandparents said used to hate these transgenders joining the female sports
Yep.
teams. And now,
Yep.
like, so there's
Yep.
always that stuff, right? Um,
Exactly.
Hmm.
And
but yeah,
not necessarily
I know what Lee's
everything
saying too.
that happens in today's world, not everything is bad.
Hmm.
You know, there is a lot of bad that's going on in our world, like things that we find are ridiculous or things that are atrocious and all this, like the transgender and or not even the transgenders. It's the teaching the kindergartners, like the 5-year-olds about
That should be the main thing happening in the world is this
s-
the child sex trades and the kiddie
yeah, like
porn and stuff
that's.
like all that stuff. That should be the main concern over anything.
Yeah.
But I
But
mean, there's
that's like all over the place, and
but like
and
that's all the
they love
bad
it,
stuff that happens. But
and
there's
they don't
good
do anything about
stuff.
that.
Yeah, because that whole Hollywood industry runs off of that
That's it.
child
Yeah,
trafficking.
forever. Yeah,
Yeah.
You
forever.
know what I mean? So that will never, because like, it's amazing how they can do all this other stuff and find all these other people they're looking for, blah blah blah. But when it comes to like trafficking stuff, like, oh no, we don't know what to do there.
Yeah.
It's because and like Jeffrey Epstein, he's not
Hmm.
the only one.
Oh
He's just
no,
one. He pissed somebody off, so they nailed
Mhm.
him for it. But if there's one Jeffrey Epstein, there's 100 of them at least,
there's tons
and
of
they all know it, and they're all involved in it, and
them.
you know it's because we're not a part of that fucking thing is why we don't know exactly who's doing it and where they're doing it and stuff like that, you know.
I
Look at
don't
when
wanna
the
be part
Clinton
of that
Foundation,
thing.
the Clinton Foundation got caught trying to steal all those Haitian kids
Hmm.
after the earthquake or the flood or whatever.
Yeah,
And then they're like, they got caught, and they're like, oh, we thought they were all orphans. And they're like, no, you didn't. You stole all these kids from their families,
yeah.
I'd steal other
and that
people's
girl went to
kids.
jail. But yeah, that's what they do though, and it's all human trafficking, and
Oh
a lot
yeah.
of it is kids. Well, the Ukraine, they're number 3 in the world for child trafficking and porn and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think a
That's
lot
and
of
people are saying that's why they're being protected
yeah.
highly.
Well, I don't
But who
know.
knows?
I mean, I believe that our children should be protected.
Hmm.
Um,
Children
they're
and animals, because they don't really know. Like,
and the
I don't
children
know.
are our future. Every child, every generation, they are the future.
Hmm.
Without these little kids, we don't have there is no future. And like you said, little kids and animals, they're Rich and I were talking about it. I was watching a clip on a dog that was brought in with a great big huge, they called it a pumpkin head. What had happened was when it was a puppy, a little puppy, somebody put a shoestring around its neck
Oh
and
wow.
forgot about it, just forgot about it. And it cut into the dog's neck, and ended up having his head swell up and whatever. And I was looking at my little dog and I said, "Can you imagine somebody doing that to her?" And it's like, can you imagine somebody doing that to any animal? Like, it takes a special kind of
Did you? Did you see that video of those two guys with the pit bulls and they let it loose on that cat at the guy's house and it tore apart the cat?
Oh, I
The
can't
cat
watch shit like
survived.
that.
I know, like I would kill those guys.
I can't watch
I
shit
would.
like that.
I'll tell you a
This
story.
just
When I was younger in the winter, I was a
Oh yeah,
teenager. I was a teenager, and these kids had a cat held
I,
down, and they put its tail in its snow and poured water on it to freeze it, so the cat would be frozen there.
ah
I caught one of the kids. They might have been 8 years old, 9 years old. I caught one, and I beat the hell out of that kid,
oh, that's
and I
so
didn't care.
cool.
Yeah, because I'll
That's
protect
so
animals.
cool.
I
Yeah, you
understand
know
how
what?
that becomes like I just don't get how that becomes like an idea. Like, hey, you want to go torture that cat? Not
Hmm
really, dude. Like, what's
Exactly.
wrong with you? Like, that's weird.
Because you
Something
have
that should cross your mind.
because you're not a sociopath.
hmm
That's why.
It's,
These people
yeah,
have
it's like,
things wrong with them. And people that torture and kill animals like at a young age usually go on
yeah,
to become killers themselves.
yeah,
And usually like sex fucking killers, like they torture the women and shit like
yeah.
that.
You watch too much crime TV.
hmm
I watched an episode the other day where a woman was abducted and raped repeatedly and tortured with a fucking soldering gun in her vagina.
hmm
Like, can you fucking fathom that?
No, I don't have a
And
vagina.
like you
I was
said,
gonna say the same thing.
okay, can you just fathom the pain that could? Wow. And can you the guy that thinks about using a soldering iron
hmm
and thinking about putting it there? Like, what is wrong with people?
The internet. That's what's wrong.
Yeah, you know.
Now, people did weird things even before the internet. We just didn't know about it.
And talking
hmm
about social media before, Lee, we have a friend um, who got married, I guess, about 5, 6 years ago. And he was the love of her life, and she was the happiest woman in the world. And then one day I went to her profile on Facebook and I noticed that her profile said separated.
hmm
And I thought, wow. So I messaged her and I said, it says that you're separated. And she says, yeah, you know, Facebook makes everything look happy. And I haven't been happy for a long time.
hmm
And I thought, what a strange thing to say. Facebook makes everything look happy. You put the thing on Facebook to make it look happy.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that the more people show of their relationships and stuff like that online, the more it's the opposite. Like people who are broadcasting that they're, like, oh, he's the greatest or she's the greatest. No, I love them. I love you. Like all that shit. The more
Mhm.
that's on there, the likelihood it's
And
the
it's
complete
And
opposite.
I'm just gonna say thank you for saying that, Lee, because that's exactly what I've been telling Bonnie for a long time.
Yeah.
yeah.
And now I have like an echo, a little bit of an echo on
Yeah,
that.
it's so true, man. Like all of that stuff, it's like you're full of shit, dude. And there's been people I've personally known that are going on and like, oh, bragging about it. And I'm like, I know this dude is banging 3 other girls, or I know
hmm
she's sleeping with that guy's brother. Like it's not all fucking sunshines and rainbows over there. Like
And
that's
it's
full of shit, dude.
and it's funny that you say that, or not funny that you say that, but oddly enough, this couple that I'm talking about would gush over one another. Oh, I love you,
Yeah,
my beautiful wife, and
yeah,
you're so pretty. And and I have another friend who does that with her man, but I
yeah.
think
Well,
she's going through
I
something
guarantee
different.
it's full of shit, man.
Yeah, you know what? And but other girls, they look at stuff like that and they think, oh, geez, wonder why doesn't my man publicly
if
say?
if
But
if you've got to
you guys
broadcast
are
that stuff.
right.
If you got to broadcast that stuff, who you broadcasting this for? Because
Yeah.
if I'm with a
No, you
chick,
guys are right.
she knows. Like if I'm with some girl, she knows. Like if I love her, she knows it. Why do I got
Yeah.
to broadcast it to all her friends or all my friends? Like who am I portraying that for?
That's all it is for.
You're right.
That's what
No,
half
you're
these relationships are for, is just for your friends.
yeah,
Exactly, and it's
Like
like,
they choose, like a lot of
you're
people
right.
pick a girl or
It's
pick a
about
guy that will look good to their friends.
mhm.
and then
It's
they'll
like
post it all over, and their friends like, "Oh my god, I wish I had that guy." But behind the scene, the guy's beating her head in, cheating on her, and stuff like that.
mm,
Like that
it's
just
like
happened recently to somebody that I know, and
mhm.
yeah, so that's just how it is.
It's like the like I said, how women dress for other women. Well,
Mhm.
women want to put
Exactly.
that out there to other women that their man loves them,
Yeah, it's the
you
best. Yeah.
know? That's what women, I guess that the women want that. But you're right, Lee, but and Rich, both of you. If you love your woman knows that you love her, and you
Yeah.
don't need to put it out there.
This is like people who brag like about that, people bragging about like having money and stuff. People who are really rich, they don't brag about having money. They don't brag about having
No,
this new car. They don't brag about, this and that. And I'm not saying like, oh, if you go out and buy a house, you post your house. I'm like, oh wow, Bonnie, that's really cool. To me, that's not like bragging, but next day you're like flashing big wads of cash, like, oh, look at all the money I make. I'm like, you're full of
Mhm.
shit. That's probably your rent money. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. It's just people front so much on
I
I'll
social.
flash
stole
you
it out
some
of my
money.
mom's wallet.
Yeah,
Teeth money.
exactly. Like they
Where
just they
did you
just
go?
I got my cat's bothering me again, so I have to go feed him.
Oh,
He's worse than the
yeah,
kids
no,
sometimes.
you're right. It's true. And most
Mhm.
rich people are not pretentious at all.
I don't
So
know.
they don't,
I know quite a few people who like I've worked for quite a few people who are like multi-millionaires and stuff, and they can be pretty fucking pretentious and look down on people and shit like that.
Oh yeah,
I don't like people like that then.
I know a lot. When
But
I was a mover, we used to move
Yeah.
tons of people in Niagara Lake here, all those rich people,
be back in a sec.
and they would be, they would look down at us, some of them, because we're just movers, right? Like we're just nobody peons.
Yeah.
But there was one guy,
Peon, you're
probably,
a peon.
yeah, I am a peon to some
I
people.
fucked it up.
But to this one guy, he was probably the richest guy of all of them, and his house, he had like his pond went inside and outside of his house, and it had like a glass divider, and the fish would swim underneath and go inside, outside. And my
Oh,
boss
that
said to him,
sounds
"You're
really cool
rich."
though.
Yeah, my boss goes, "You got lots of money." He goes, "Oh yeah, I got tons of money."
Mhm.
And
Goes off after
he
2
was the only
minutes.
rich person. We would go there to move a couch, like one couch for him, from one side of the room to the other side of the room, and he'd give us $100 tip each.
Yeah.
And then the other rich
Wow.
people, we would do like move two of their houses. It would take 16 hours, and then they would say, "Oh, come to my store. I'll give you a discount on your submarine sandwich for you."
A
Yeah.
Like
discount,
screw
yeah.
you, asshole. That's why I
Yeah.
never go. I
Uh,
boycotted the one store. I'll never go there
Garrison
ever.
subs.
Garrison subs, never. I'll never go eat there. I don't even care if they're good.
Yeah.
That guy
They're
told us,
delicious.
"Are you thirsty? There's a tap on the side of the house. Go drink. Fill up a water bottle at the tap outside."
Yeah.
Like fuck you,
Oh, he
asshole.
wouldn't even give you a beer?
He wouldn't even give us water outside of the tap. You don't give movers beer. If you hire movers, that's the last thing you give them. And
Yeah.
if the movers accept it, then you got problems. Half your stuff
Yeah,
stolen.
you got a bunch of fucking criminals moving your
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
You
Because I
know I
mean,
was
when
kidding.
we used to do the moving, when it was like just me and my buddies, like I'd move or they move, yeah, we'd fucking, I mean, we'd make the mistake of getting fucking half drunk and doing it,
That's
but
Before the
different.
that was
move
me
was
and my
over?
buddies, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
like
that's different.
if you pay for a company to come do it and they start drinking, I'm gonna be like, oh fuck, this is bad.
Yep.
I was kidding, guys.
Yeah.
And
I
you
know
don't feed your
better.
movers either.
Don't feed them,
If
yeah,
you
because
ever
then
have
they
to
get
hire them,
lazy.
don't feed them because then they get lazy after they eat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you just give
Or
them the
that's like
tip
when you
and
have
that's it. See you
somebody
later.
when you have somebody to come and help you move, you don't bring the beer out until the move is
oh
over.
Hmm.
Christ.
yeah.
Because then people get all freaking tanked up and drop your TV and
Yeah.
paint on your floor.
It's
Or
better
they
just to hire movers anyways, and then
Are you painting while the day you're moving in?
yeah, it's
who?
weird.
You said get paint on the floor.
No, I can't remember how that happened, but
No, I don't remember how that happened either. But we were talking about moving
no, not
and
here.
getting them drunk, and then you were like, and they'll break your stuff and drop your TV and get paint on the floor. I'm like, why are your movers painting your fucking apartment when your house?
No, they weren't painting my apartment. They weren't painting my house.
Oh,
They
that
were
was a
just
private conversation you were having in your head. You just blurted out the end of it.
so what's the next topic?
I want to know about this lady in the hockey and what she's trying, because I kind of seen something on Twitter about it today, and somebody was complaining about
Well, I was looking her
that.
up. Yeah, Rich will have to explain that one because I was looking her up. But I can't find anything about her.
Oh, she's horrible as a broadcaster, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, she parrots essentially what the other guys had said about a play or whatever. But now she's just getting into this. Her and Bieksa had an exchange tonight. I didn't catch the whole thing, but it was about physicality. I guess a Ducks player or something happened in the Ducks game where they got ragdolled a little bit,
Right.
and they didn't have a tough guy to kind of step in and say, you know what, none of this bullshit. And Bieksa was talking about it and just kind of saying, like, you know what, you got to have somebody that's going to stand there and stand up for your team and kind of not allow that kind of shit to happen. And she's talking like, well, we just need to get rid of that from the sport. We need to get rid of fighting and the physicality from the sport. And Bieksa just, I don't know, they're going to commercial, and Bieksa had said something about, we have these guys, these guys are, that's what they're there for. They're there for the reason so that people don't get cheap shotted and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then
That's
she was
on
like, well,
the
maybe we need to change the rules. And I
And
thought to
that's
myself,
when
you
he
know
lost
what?
it.
You go back to women's hockey, you go back to Europe. If you want to change the rules and have that kind of hockey, go enjoy it. Many people
Yeah.
do. I'm not
'Cause-
one of them. You leave the NHL and you leave the juniors alone and let it be physical. Let there be fighting. Let there be physical contact. Let there be body checking. Like, what are you gonna do? Turn into figure skating on?
Yeah, because that's on
Anyway.
the team. If they don't have an enforcer or someone who could take care of that shit, that's on the fucking team. That's on the owners. Like,
Exactly.
because they need to have at least one on the fucking roster that people are like, they're gonna second guess, like, I don't really want him fucking coming around. You know what I mean?
And now she's
Yeah.
saying like, well, that shouldn't even be a thing. Those things shouldn't be needed.
Yeah.
There should be no fighting at all. Like, remove it. Harsher penalties.
See, and
Yeah.
I don't like hockey and I don't understand hockey and I don't really watch hockey. But the most enjoyable part of hockey for me is the fighting.
It
Yeah.
was fun, especially when there was bench brawls and the goalies would meet at center and they'd start battle. Like,
Yep.
that was just how I remember it, and it was fun.
The thing
Yeah.
about it though is that like if you're watching it, it's not like, the problem is that people see this fighting and they literally think it's just like, oh, well, I'll meet you at center ice. Let's just beat the fuck out of each other. There's like a reason that shit's happening. Like,
Yeah.
same with like, there's a reason why there's a bench brawl, or line brawls and stuff. They don't just happen out of the blue. It's a combination of quite a few things that have been like boiling for a while, right? People make it sound like hockey is like, all right, let's go in the ice and just start punching the shit at each other, and it's not like that at all. Because I've seen tons of games where there's not a single fight because there's not any, like any bullshit. But then you have the games where someone's digging at the fucking goalie or somebody's fucking picking at the scorer and shit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So there's a lot more to it than
There's
just like,
history to some teams and players than
oh,
other
and
teams.
absolutely, because like, and I've seen, even watching like juniors and Quebec Major Junior and stuff, you'll see something like two teams that played each other a month ago and somebody got hit fucking dirty and they just didn't have a chance. And then it's been a month or so and then we finally get to play again and then they'll fight right off the bat.
Mhm.
But it's because like, oh, last time you hit me, you fucking speared me, rammed the end of your stick into me, and I couldn't get you at the end of the game. So now it's time to take care of it, kind of thing, right?
Well, Rich was talking about how somebody ended somebody's career. Rich, are you listening?
Oh yeah, and Lee be familiar with Bertuzzi, the
Oh
whole
yeah,
Bertuzzi Moore incident. Like, and that was back in those days where they were trying to kind of get rid of the tough guys
yeah,
and push them out, and then people like Kasperitis and Barnaby and guys like that started running around cheap shotting,
yeah.
Mhm.
And that's
and
the
there was
thing.
nothing nobody could do. And
Yeah,
and
because
what they couldn't police themselves.
yeah, because these guys now, all of a sudden, these little pussies who are throwing these cheap shots and ending people's career, they're not worried about somebody coming to make them fucking pay for it. And that's
No.
exactly what's going to happen, because you're not going to stop like cheap shots and sucker punches and stuff like that if they know that they're not going to have to pay for doing it.
And that's what I tried to explain to Bonnie. Like, she doesn't understand hockey very well.
Mhm.
You get a 2-minute penalty. Okay, so great. So if somebody breaks, I don't know, McDavid's arm. Now
Mhm.
McDavid's out for 6 weeks. Buddy's out for a 4-game suspension.
Hmm.
Who's the
Mhm.
bigger loser here?
Yeah, and that's the thing,
Now, I
right?
mean, it
And
just it's irritating to me that people think that it's just so cut and dry that it's
yeah, and that's the thing. Like if you're allowing people to drop cheap shots and you take it like Sid, like Craig McDavid or something, right? Well, Edmonton's lost their multi-million-dollar fucking star. It's done. And and it's more likely going to happen if it's like, well, don't fuck around with McDavid too much because like I don't know who's on Edmonton that would take care of it, but I guarantee you there's an enforcer on there that will come and make sure he's okay. Look at Wayne Gretzky.
I was
His
gonna say
Yeah,
Gretzky had
he
no
had
problems with
McSorley.
McSorley there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
McSorley was like,
entire career, like Gretzky didn't get hurt much. He didn't get picked on much. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why he was able to continue to become like one of the top scorers in the NHL. I think he's even the highest, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's a reason for that because how many people would have gone for him to finish him off? But then you got McSorley coming down your throat. Even back in the days when he was in the Edmonton, Mark, fuck, can't even think of his name.
Messier.
Yeah, Mark Messier and them, like they took care of him. That's how these guys were able to do these like lengthy careers. But if you got guys that are okay with whacking you inside the head with a stick and going to the penalty box or getting a game or two suspension, it's going to happen more. So people will end up getting hurt more.
So you're saying that one of the reasons Wayne Gretzky didn't get hurt a whole lot was because he had people, his whatever, protecting them?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, there's a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
of reasons. There's a couple of reasons. One, like Lee said, he had everybody protecting him. Like he had nothing to worry about.
Hmm.
But two, there was more respect back then.
Hmm.
Players had more respect for each other back then.
Hmm.
So there was
And I
no
mean-
fear of anything.
With people like Gretzky and like he even looking like nowadays with people like Sidney Crosby and them, like they're very good at what they do, but they do have people protecting them. It's kind of like like royalty or famous person or something. Like they're able to do their job, but they need to
They have the
more
league
protection.
protecting them now.
Yeah,
Like even my favorite player, like growing up with Scott Stevens, because he was he was a tough dude. But you can see when they started getting rid of the goons and the enforcers and the protectors,
Mhm.
Stevens was like, he was free to just look what he did to Lindros and everybody that one season, like his last season, he just destroyed everybody.
Yeah,
If there was protectors and enforcers in there, he may not have did that to everybody,
yeah,
but he knew that he could get away with it, and he knew that he was a tough guy and he could knock these dudes out. Right? You have your head down, you're going away.
hmm
Either if it's a good hit with the shoulder or if you get a little piece of an elbow on the guy's head, so if they had that now, if guys like Stevens were allowed to be out there now with no enforcers, Crosby, McDavid, all them, they'd be on their backs.
Oh,
They'd be
absolutely,
done forever.
because those
And
guys
even-
they're not built for that shit.
No, they don't learn that in house league. That's why I stopped playing hockey, is because I was taught all they taught me was to hit people and pass the puck to your forward. Hit them,
Yeah,
pass the puck to the forward. And then all of a
Same.
sudden they said, no more hitting in house league. And then I was in the penalty box the whole game because I
yeah.
hit them. And then, so
Wait.
kids don't know how to take a hit. And then you don't know how to hit people properly without hurting them.
When I played junior high and high school, I did nothing but fight. Like that. That's it. Because I was the big dude of the team. I wasn't fast. I think I scored like twice, and that was just kind of a fucking fluke. But all I did was
You
I
sound
scored
like
one
me
time
when I
with
played
yeah,
baseball.
like I hit people, and if someone was fucking around, I would go punch the shit out of them. And like if somebody picked up the goalie, stuff like that, and it's like that was my entire job there, like every time we played. But
Yeah.
because the guys who were doing the scoring, the guys who were doing, all the big plays, they were like super fast, but they were
That
also
was their
like,
job though.
yeah,
Like everybody had a
that's
job on the team, right? So
yeah, and that's
if you were
exactly
the protector and you were the fighter, that's your job. And that's what they trained you to do for years.
Mhm.
That's what they taught me. And this one guy, Dragon, his name was Dragon. He was my defense partner. And for years they taught us hit people and pass the puck, hit people,
Yeah.
pass the puck.
Yeah,
And they even had to move us up 3 age groups because we were too big for kids our age.
yeah,
They moved us, like we were like 12 years old playing with 16-year-olds.
yeah.
It was crazy. But yeah, when
Well,
they
I
took
don't
when they
like
took out,
hockey.
I don't know.
Get
We'll
her to
put you on
Canada.
ice one day with equipment, and then we'll
No, I have
track
to
you
tell
around.
you,
You might like it.
No, I have to tell you, mostly the reason I don't like hockey
Mhm.
is the fact that I can never find the fucking puck on the ice.
Too
You need that
fast.
Florida
It's
channel where they
way
put
too
the
yes,
blue circle around it.
yeah.
Remember they did that on Fox
Oh,
like back in the
Fox.
early 90s?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
man, that was
Holy,
horrible.
that was fucking
Or the
horrible, man.
Arizona or somebody like
That
that.
was
Like
the
the
only time I could see the puck.
Good lord.
Half the
Rich
time,
will
the puck
say to
was still
me
like 2.5 seconds behind it or ahead
Yeah.
of it.
Mhm.
It's like the tail
Rich will
didn't match
say
where
to
the
me,
puck was.
"Did you see that?" And I'll say, "No," and he'll say, "Okay, hang on. They're gonna replay. Watch it."
Yeah.
In
And,
slow
you know, I
motion.
watch it, and he'll say, "Did you see it?" And it's like, "No."
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind sports, but I find people who are like diehard sports fans, I don't know, to me they come off fucking weird. Like their life revolves around it, and like, like their team loses, so they're like punching their TV. I'm like, you got fucking issues, man, and it's not because of sports. Like, like people are like, oh, or like people, if you're a Toronto fan, for example, and you're at, well, it's not Maple Leaf Gardens now. What is it, Scotia Center or something?
Scotiabank,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you're at Scotiabank Center and you're playing, Toronto's playing the Bruins, and you see a guy in a Bruins shirt and you beat the shit out of him because he's wearing the Bruins, like, you've got problems, man. Like,
That's yeah.
that's not sportsman. That's not hockey. That's not what they're going for. I just find diehard people are just fucked in the head, man. Most of the ones
Rich is a diehard Leafs fan.
Not,
used-
not the way the lead describes. No, like I'm
Yeah,
not going to
no.
go and fight somebody over anything. And
No, I just meant that you're true to your team, a
I
diehard.
I didn't mind like I don't mind watching Toronto, and I don't mind watching Pittsburgh too. And I seen um a couple of Leafs games when it was still in the Maple Leaf Gardens. I think it was on my like 13th birthday in like 92 or something like that. I saw them play Pittsburgh, and they ended up winning it like it was 9-3. And Wendell Clark, I got to see him, and he was like my favorite when I was a kid, man.
same.
He was
I wore 17.
yeah, that's what I had too. I had a 17 jersey when I was younger. I had a blue and a white.
I didn't get to have a Leafs jersey when I was young.
Oh yeah, no, I had two.
I went with the St. Louis Blues. That was my team. I love Brett Hall too.
I was never a fan of Hall. I don't know why. He was good. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't a fan of him.
Yeah, no, I don't know why I was, to be honest.
Same
Wendell
with
Clark was always my guy, but Brett Hall was just, I don't know, something about him.
same with Gretzky. Gretzky was good, and I'll never say that he wasn't good. He was really good, but I just didn't care when he played. I was like, I don't care.
I hated Gretzky, and I shouldn't have hated him because I used to collect hockey cards, and I probably had like 20 Gretzky rookies at
Oh
that time,
yeah, dude.
and I would play flicksies with them and throw them off because I didn't like him, so I didn't
Yeah.
care about his card. And of course, you don't know that card's going to be worth all this money now.
Yeah.
But I'd play flicksies with them and trade them for like whatever players. But my first
do you
game I
think-
ever seen live was Toronto versus New Jersey, and I went with New Jersey for whatever reason. There was a bench brawl that game, and I just loved it. So Toronto and New Jersey were my two teams, and then the way people in Toronto started, once I had I still have that jersey that I bought at that game, the green, red, and white one, and they used to be like, "Oh, New Jersey," and I'm like, you know what? Screw you, Toronto fans. So I went with New Jersey, and they sucked forever. So I'm used to like a team that sucked, and when they did good, then all of a sudden, all these Brodeur fans were all over the place, and I'm like, you're not even a New Jersey fan. You guys just bandwagon.
See,
dudes."
that's
So
the
you guys
thing
have welcome
about
to the Leafs games. I've never been to a Leafs game. Fuckers.
I've been to tons. I was at Cujo's last game, so that they lost in overtime. It was such a good game. It was 1-0 for whoever. I forget who they played. And I was sitting, we had gold seats or whatever right behind Cujo. And then it was third period. The Leafs scored, tie it up. Everybody's all happy outside, smoking and everything, just happy. Go to overtime. And then Cujo lets one in, and then everybody's sad.
Yeah.
And that was Cujo's last game with the Leafs. That was the last live game I've been to.
the thing about I find about the Leafs fans, everybody makes fun of the Leafs because they're not a very strong team in the league and blah blah blah. But what I find pretty cool about the fans themselves is regardless of how badly they do, and they always blow it all the time.
Yeah, joke.
Their fans stand behind them 1,000%.
That's what I keep saying.
Yes,
the
but
Leafs don't need to win. They don't need money. Like they don't. That team doesn't need money. They're always going to have fans and always make the money. They don't need to win the cup.
They have like
When
true. That's what
New
I meant
Jersey was
about
going to
Die
fold,
Hard.
and then all of a sudden they won the cup, and they needed the money. Then they win the cup, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of funny, right? But
Mhm.
I don't know.
Well,
My
no, I
favorite
think it's really
era,
it's nice.
favorite era of the Maple Leafs was like Doug Gilmour,
Gilmore, Clark,
Ty Domi, like all that time.
later.
That
I
was
hated Domi. And
I
I seen him
love
on the
Domi.
highway once. He was driving beside us, and he gave us the finger because we were yelling at him.
I love Domi, man. He was.
Same.
I think I loved Wendell Clark, but I honestly think Domi was my all-time favorite.
I like Clark better than Domi.
Yeah.
Was he
And I
your
liked
man
when
crush?
Gilmore and Anderchuk came to New Jersey because it pissed off my uncle.
Yeah. So I just looked it up. Wayne Gretzky mint condition rookies card recently sold for $3.75 million.
Yeah,
The highest
high
price
grade.
ever for a single.
I know. I know.
And they have a few like used beat up ones on eBay for like 50,000. There's
Yeah.
one for 99,000.
Jeez, I think I have like 2 or 3 second-year Gretzky's.
Oh, really?
Those still go good for good money too. They still go for good money.
Oh Christ! I did it.
I actually
again.
just got my hockey cards back a day ago. My uncle gave them to me. He found them when he was cleaning them out because he was holding on to them for me. So
Rich,
haven't
you don't
looked
have
at
any Gretzky cards that are worth anything?
Just second years.
like I
I'd have
said.
to look at the Beckett values
don't
and
know what
stuff like
that
that. I can't
means,
imagine
but-
they're much. The only rookie I have is a Patrick Waugh. That's was a couple $100 last I had seen.
Second
it's
year
graded,
OP.
They were going well. Yeah.
Second year OPG is going between 8 to 10,000.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said, Rich. They're going for
Yeah.
good money, especially if they're graded in a high grade.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about.
Yeah, because they've
Digging
got
your shit
one.
out.
Yeah, so 1980 OPG, Wayne Gretzky's second year in mint is there's one on for sale for $8,000, and there's another one on for $10,000.
Pretty sure it's the second year I have. It may not be.
I mean,
Let's check this out.
can you imagine if you can get
Here, is
like
this the one you have,
$8,000 for a
This
card?
one here, I'll show you.
I'm just going through the cards right now, trying to find them.
This one,
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
I don't know if you remember. Like I had like probably 30 of these at one time.
Yeah,
But this guy's trying to sell for 100,000. Of course, he's not going to get
yeah.
that much for it. But
It seems between $8,000 and $10,000 seems
you
to
hear
be
what they're
more
selling for.
what they're.
Well, that's pretty decent.
Sold items 225. Let's see. Price lowest. $15 for that one. So it all depends on like it goes up and up and up. If you get it, you need to get it graded. Really, that's the best way to.
Yeah, because I mean,
value.
even if it's worth $8,000, you're not going to get it unless it's got the grade.
Yeah. So here, if this one's here is a PSA 9, $3,000 for that.
Yeah, but still, that's not bad.
9.5. This guy got I don't know what the offer is, but a PSA 10. He accepted an offer. He wanted 7,000 US, but he accepted the offer. So
yeah,
9.5. So
Wonder
yeah,
what the offer was.
who knows?
I know.
I used to have a way I could tell what they accepted, but I don't know.
I know we got a whole bunch of hockey cards in the closet, in the storage closet.
Oh yeah, we got some Ivan Halinka, Mike Palmetier, a whole bunch of Marcel Dion.
Marcel Dion. He has a little. Have you ever gone to his little restaurant here? In
It's
Niagara
closed
Falls?
down.
Did he close it down?
Yeah, that's what I had heard, anyways.
So you like Gilmore and all the old Leafs and everything, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when they come back to do the old timers game at the my uncle's arena there, I'll let you know, and I can probably get you in to meet all of them and hang out with them and have drinks or
Oh, fuck,
lunch with
that'd be
them.
awesome.
Fuck, that'd be awesome.
Are you coming down, Lee?
Because I'm
Yeah.
gonna go and hang. I want to see my old buddy Mike Krushelinski. We used
Oh,
to play.
yeah.
They used
Yeah.
to play hockey with us at the West Mall rink in Etobicoke.
Yeah.
And
I got his autograph somewhere around here.
he used to used to have a white Jeep, and he would try to run us over and yell at us. And we'd always swear at him. So when he met my uncle took a picture of him and said, "Look, I'm with your old buddy." And I'm like, "Yeah, tell that guy to fuck off." The fucking guy used to try to run us over, that bastard. But Yeah, we used to play hockey with Dave Reed would go there. The Needlemeyers. I used to hang around at Cloverdale Mall with Bruce Driver's father. He used to have a New Jersey jacket, and I asked him where he got the jacket from, and he goes, "Oh, my son, here, sit down." And he told me the whole story, and his son actually sent it to him. It was an official New Jersey jacket, and then when his son was traded to the Rangers, which is New Jersey's team that they hate, right? And he hated that his son went there. He would refuse to wear Rangers stuff, and I don't know. It was fun in Toronto. Who
I have a Gretzky story.
do you?
No,
Yes.
I found my Don Cherry card. There you go.
You
All right.
got a
Sure,
Don
Gretzky's
Cherry
story.
card?
Oh, for sure.
I met Walter Gretzky
Oh
Hmm.
yeah.
at his vineyard here. I think we had an event from work, Stomp the Grape for charity,
Mhm.
and we went to the the Wayne Gretzky vineyard, and we were sitting around at the patio, and this old guy was there. I had no idea who he was. I really
Mhm.
didn't. This old guy was sitting there, and he sat down at our table, and he chatted me up, and I swear he was flirting with me. And then I found out later on that it was Walter Gretzky. And Rich I don't really think he was flirting. I think he was just a really nice man, an older
Oh,
man.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, Rich thinks he was flirting with me, but I think he was. I read.
Let me tell you, when I'm 70 years old, I hope that I get to put my hands around women wherever I want, whenever I want.
He didn't put his hands on me.
Really? Get his arms
I
around your back and on your shoulder and around your waist a little bit. Don't tell me he didn't have his hands around you.
I
should have
read
beat it.
somewhere
You should have beat
that
up Wayne's dad. That would have been great.
yeah, defended
That was
my
more
honor.
like, hey, how
Yeah,
much?
yeah.
Like, how much is this gonna cost? Like,
Yeah.
get the shit out of your dad. I'm gonna be like,
I
lose my
heard that
life.
he was a very devoted husband to his
His
wife.
wife passed away.
Rich, who was that Leaf? Was it John
Yes.
Cullen who was on the Leafs? John Cullen, and he had cancer. I think he ended up having cancer back
I'm
in
not
the
sure.
90s. But there was, I
There's
think
a
it was either
Cullen that
him,
played for. Yeah.
Cullen, or maybe it was Tucker, one of the two. But it was, we were at Sherway. It was Christmas time. We were Christmas shopping. Me, my mother, my daughter, and my ex, and we were on the escalator. And I'm like, hey, that's John Cullen. And my mother is like, who? And I said, he's a Leaf player. So she walks up to him. She goes, are you John Cullen? He goes, yeah, I am. And she goes, oh, okay. And then she turns around and walks away. And he's standing there like getting ready to do an autograph. And he's like frozen, just looking at her. And she just turned around and walked away. It was so funny. We were just laughing. She's like, hey, are you John Cullen? He's like, oh, yeah, I am. Like, so happy that somebody recognized him. And she's like, oh, cool. And walked away.
Okay.
And goes, yeah, that was
That's
him.
great.
Just checking.
Yeah. It was so funny. And we were laughing at her like, the guy, poor guy there. You just left him there standing. He was waiting to do an autograph or whatever. And you're just like, yeah, man, whatever. See you later,
He's all
buddy.
like stoked and like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, it was so funny. I don't know. My mother's like that. She can be a little airhead sometimes.
So perfect opportunity there was just had to put the crickets in. There was that long, awkward pause.
What pause?
This one.
Oh, why are you pausing?
You need to get the crickets. I'm telling you, you need to get
We are crickets.
a sound clip of the crickets.
I didn't hear any crickets until you said to pause.
I know.
Okay, so I found my Tony Esposito.
Okay.
What year is that one?
73, 74. I say value
Wait,
of
shit. Are you
My uncle
serious
has-
going through your
My
card?
uncle has.
$2,600.
I'm going through my cards right now.
Oh, wow. Lee, what are you going through cards?
No, I lost all my cards.
$1,000 for a PSA 10.
That's it. See, they were higher than that
Yeah,
before.
in the 90s, that stuff was worth way more too.
Well, when
'Cause I
COVID happened,
remember like
all
all
the
the flea
cards
markets and
shot
shit.
right
People
up.
used to sell those. Yeah,
But there was a lot of counterfeit ones going around too.
yeah. I had tons and tons of like every sports cards when I was a kid, but
So did
when
I.
left
I
my
had more than
parents'
what I
house-
have now.
When I left my
I
parents'
think my
house, I
uncle
left
probably
everything
was.
there, and I never ever went back to my parents' house, so I lost all my shit that I had from when I was a kid.
Oh, so you have no memorabilia?
No, not a single thing. Nothing at
Mm.
all.
My mother sold most of my stuff at
I'm pretty sure my dad just threw
flea
everything out
markets.
because when I left on bad terms anyway because the whole situation was bad anyway. So I got the fuck out of there as soon as I could.
Mm-hmm.
I just left everything there, and I didn't come back really until my mom passed away. And then after my mom passed away, I never ever went back. Never ever spoke to my father again.
That's kind of sad, but things
Eh,
happen.
yeah, it
Right.
happens.
Yeah.
It was his own doing anyway. Like he was not a very nice person. So,
Mhm.
he was a one who ended up passing away alone with no family or anything. But that was all his doing.
That could be like my dad.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I haven't seen or spoke to my dad in like, I don't know, 25, 30 years.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
that
know
was
how long
like
it's been. He could be alive, could be dead. Who knows?
I
He
think it
lives
was.
out by you, Lee. You can go visit him.
Yeah, I think it was probably 20 years, and then my sister called me up, and she had said that he was sick and dying, and I was like, okay. I was like, well, I like because they were still back in Dartmouth, Halifax. And I'm like, well, I'm not coming home, like for that, like
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I probably would have a hard time with it. I mean, I don't know the circumstances or anything,
Mhm.
but I probably would have gone back.
Yeah,
I don't
it
Well,
was.
you say that, but you have to
I
live the life
again,
there to be
which
to develop those feelings to not be able to go back.
right.
Yeah, basically, once my mom passed, because she was the last thing that was holding anything together. Once she
Mhm.
was passed, he was gone to me at that point. So 20 years later, when I find out he's dying, I'm like, well, honestly, he's pretty much been dead to me anyway. So
Mhm. Mhm.
it didn't really feel any different than it did, previous to that.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's why I said like I don't know circumstances and situations and stuff like that. And there's all kinds of contributing factors to make a person do what they do. So
Mhm.
I'm just saying for myself personally, and having said that, I did go through a very small period of 2 years where didn't speak to my mother,
Mhm.
and I mean, it ended up after those 2 years, I got very very close to my mother, and I was devastated when my mother died.
I
So
think a lot of that for my situation personally was that it was a direct correlation between them being so much older and such a generation gap.
uh,
Um, and but even with like, because I have like your brother and sister, and they're quite a bit older than me too.
mhm,
Um, but there was just such a generation gap with my parents that, well, with my dad mostly, but a lot of it was like, he was still stuck in the 50s, and he was still like, like to him, women spoke when they were spoken to, and children did
Yeah.
what they were told to, or they got smashed in the head, and like you stay away from black
yeah,
people and don't go near the queers and all this stuff. And at that time, it was just like, dude, like what the fuck, like you don't care. Like abuse was his way of controlling. So
yeah,
and especially like growing up seeing like the whole women speak when spoken to you, like that's the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard. Like
yeah,
like back when they started, it was okay to give your wife a slap if she didn't fucking fix the dishes or didn't do the dishes. And I'm like, that's ridiculous, dude. Like that's
I was, Lee, before you came on, I was very upset that Rich had to make his own sandwich.
oh,
damn it,
Or something.
oh.
damn
It
it,
was
Bonnie.
very
What are you
upsetting.
doing?
I know.
What can I say? I'm a liberated woman.
I grew
You
up that
guys,
kids didn't
you
talk.
guys, you guys gave me the privilege of voting, and I've just become a liberated. Fuck is
See,
I
off.
grew up that kids were quiet.
My
Like, do you
feet are
remember
cold.
that,
Where's my
Mike? Like,
slippers?
kids were just quiet. Kids are to be
I
seen
don't
and
know.
not heard.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's the
Yeah.
type of years I grew up.
And yeah, you know what? I was kind of like that. When the big people are talking, the kids mind their business. Go
Yeah,
play.
but you listen and learn. That's what I did. I just listened and listened and watched and listened and learned. So,
Well, yeah,
It just
that's
feels like,
another thing too. They didn't want us there because we heard things,
yeah.
you know, and we didn't always understand those things, and then we would repeat it to our friends, and their friends would repeat it to their parents. And of course, because we didn't repeat it properly, there was probably a whole big fucking neighborhood brawl going on over something that was incorrectly said.
Mhm.
It just feels to me the difference with like kids and stuff now is that like it seems to me that like my parents' generation and all that, like back then they fucking hated their kids. Whereas like I enjoy my kids, I have fun with my kids. Like they're like like I like to laugh with them, I like to talk to them, I like to play with them, I like to do all that stuff. Whereas like my parents were like, sit down, shut the fuck up, do what you're
Mhm.
told, or we'll beat your ass. And like I can't imagine like thinking like that or being like that with my kids. Like, oh, you spilt your juice. Well, I'm gonna punch you in your fucking head. But that's the shit
Yeah, that's
That's the
crazy.
that
that's the
they
kind of
did.
stuff that I grew up with too.
Yeah, and
You're
it's
right.
like I don't understand that.
You
Kids need to be
spilt your
kids, and
juice.
they need to make mistakes, and they need
Yeah.
like they're kids. They don't know. They can barely use their hands, let alone
Mhm.
properly do something. And it just seems that older generations hated their kids. And I'm like, well, first of all, I didn't ask to be fucking born. Like, you're the one that fucking made me. So, you're the one that should be taking care of me, not treating us like a fucking burden. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that's the same with my kids. Like, yeah, sometimes things get tough. Sometimes money gets tight. Sometimes things come up and stuff, but it's never their fault. And I'm never going to make them pay for it. Like, oh, I'm mad because fucking I got to pay another fucking power bill. So I'm going to punch you in the head. Like, I don't understand how that was
Or
acceptable at
or
some.
I'm mad because I have to go and buy you school supplies and
Yeah.
school like you said, we didn't ask to be born.
Yeah, like,
You know?
and that's, but I mean, that seemed to be the general consensus back then from what I experienced is that it just seemed like so many parents just hated their kids. And I just like, I don't get it. Like, I see my kids and, and it's like, how do people, like, how could I go and do that, man? It just to me, it just feels like it's just, I don't get it. I don't know how you can do that to somebody you supposedly love. And I mean, I guess that kind of goes with like abusive husbands and stuff like, oh, I love you. Well, you love your wife, but you punch her in the fucking head when she pisses you off. Like
Yeah.
that's not love to
They
me,
do
man.
say that people that you don't have to love your kids because you're in love with your wife or whatever, and you have a kid. You don't even know your kid,
Hmm.
so it's a different type of thing. But it's a weird thing that they say, anyways. But yeah, I never treated my daughter that way. Like I never
Hmm.
yelled. I don't even think I've ever even yelled at her.
Hmm.
Never hit her. All I had to do was
I
look at her.
I yelled at my kids when they were young.
Mothers
Um,
yell usually. I find
yeah, but
more.
you want to know something? I'll tell you.
Fathers are eviler.
I grew up with a mother that yelled. My mother not only yelled, my mother screamed to the point where she would start coughing. She irritated her throat so badly.
Hmm.
And when I was growing up, I always said, I'm not going to be like that. And I one day found myself, I yelled at my son and I yelled at him so loudly that I started coughing. And I thought, I am my mother.
Hmm.
And I stopped fucking yelling at my kids. From that day, I stopped. And
Hmm.
I don't believe I never hit my kids because I don't believe in hitting. I don't believe in hitting, period. But
Hmm.
I definitely don't believe in hitting a child. So I
Well,
never
they,
hit my kids.
they're not going to learn anything from it
It doesn't
because
help. I don't think. Yeah.
at
You
any
know,
time my dad ever hit me over stuff, it just I figured out a way to continue doing what I was doing, but just make sure that he didn't see it.
or all he did though, he figures that he created respect this
Oh
way,
yeah,
but all
and
he
that
did was create fear.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, they go for like respect, and you get the absolute opposite. Like, I have no respect for that kind of
Absolutely.
shit. Like,
You had
absolutely,
no respect, but when you were little and
it was
you
in
know,
fear.
you got smacked, you were afraid of this man.
Yeah,
And that's what they do. That's what they did to us when we were kids. And don't get me wrong, I I don't remember what the fuck I was going to say. Oh, I didn't have a bad childhood like growing up.
yeah.
My mother was I didn't have the best of childhoods, but I didn't have a really bad one. Like there are many others that
Oh
had it
yeah.
way the fuck worse.
Oh yeah.
So
Same, yeah.
I didn't always just get a slap on the ass. I sometimes got a beating.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I had a father who was quite absent. Well, he may have been physically there. He just wasn't with his family.
Yeah.
I can't say that it was like all bad, but
Mhm,
there were things like I said to you about my mother yelling,
mhm.
my mother smacking, and I thought, "There's no way I'm going to do this to my kids." And I did end up part of it until I realized what I was doing, and I did stop it. But the hitting of the kids, no
Oh yeah.
chance.
The only thing
Like,
my mother did to me is, I guess, probably the first time I swore, she put soap in my mouth. Then right away I brushed my teeth and I went in the living room. I said, I brushed my teeth, nah, like a little prick. And
yep.
that was it. And she was probably like, you little bastard. So that's the
Yeah.
worst thing that my mother did. Like my mother was good. She didn't do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I got banged up a little bit.
Nah, I didn't.
Sometimes with my mother, didn't matter what she was holding. Whatever the fuck she was holding in her hand is what you got smacked with.
Oh really?
So it could have been her slipper, which it most oftentimes she would just mothers at that time they were very quick to bend down and whip their slipper off and either whip it at your head or smack you with it. So she would hit me with her slipper or the wooden spoon if that's what she was holding. Um, a book, but if it was a pot, she'd throw the pot too.
Yeah.
It really didn't matter to my mother. She was yeah. But because
People
of
are weird.
her, I knew that I didn't wanna be like that, and I didn't wanna treat my kids like that. But s having said that, each there's troubles I find in each family. Like, I had my troubles with my mother, and I have I adopted a child,
Mhm.
my middle child, and, he stopped talking to me about 13 13 years ago. Not completely stopped talking to me, but he stopped talking to me. In the interim, he had a baby, almost 8 years ago now. So
Mhm.
my grandson is almost 8 years old, and I've never met him.
Mhm. Yeah.
So now I didn't hit my kid the way I got hit. I didn't yell at my kid the way I got yelled at. I did things completely different. Yet there's still problems that arise in. I think what I'm trying to say. First of all, I'm high as fuck, and I have
Yeah.
a hard time with my words. But I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
what I'm trying to say is, no matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, of course, being in the good, there's
Oh, yeah.
always going to be something.
Yeah, there's always gonna be some sort of issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it's just part and parcel of, having kids.
Yeah.
Things just happen.
Because I know even now, like, I'm like, dude, I don't feel like the adult in a lot of things. So it's like, like I'm still just fucking winging it, dude. Even though my oldest boy is 23 and then I have little ones, I'm still fucking winging it day to day. I'm like, I don't know.
And you
I just
always
try to,
will.
yeah, and I just try to look at it like, well, what would be the best way to try to deal with the situation? Like, how would I feel if I did this or like, and a lot of it is just like, talk to me, man. Like, we can talk it out. We don't need to scream it out. We don't need to fight it out. We don't need to fucking
No,
smash shit and like all this stuff. And I think a lot of that is because I also do credit the things that my dad did because I know exactly what I don't want to do to somebody else because I know how it felt when it was done to me. You know,
right.
so like I know what it's like to feel like treated like shit or beaten like shit and like all that kind of stuff. So in
Mhm.
the end, as much as it sucked that it happened to me, I prefer it to have happened to me than to have it to happen to my little ones, because it's just
Right.
better that way on my end.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a long time since I had a little kid around,
Hmm.
but I have across the way from us, my super has 3 little boys,
Mhm.
and one of them, I think he's 6, but we call him my boyfriend, my little boyfriend. He comes and visits me all the freaking time.
Oh,
And
that's
he
awesome.
in the summertime, he picks flowers, and it's just like the heads of the flowers, no
Yeah.
stem.
Yeah, my daughter does that.
And he
She'll pick
brings
flowers,
yep,
little
yep,
pieces.
little bits and pieces. And
Yeah.
I had a terrarium on my
Out of
planter,
our
and
garden, no less.
yes, he's not lying.
That's
Yes.
funny.
I had a terrarium on my patio, and it was filled with seashells, and he would come over every day and look in the terrarium and ask me if he could have a seashell. So
Yeah.
I gave him a couple, and finally I had to say to him, "No, you can't have any more because then I won't have any left."
Yeah.
Or he would come over and he'd say to me, "Hi, do you remember me?" He had been over the week before.
Yeah.
"Hi, do you remember me? I gave you a gummy bear one time. Do you remember that time?" Yes, Ethan, I remember you." He's
Yeah, kids
a
can be really funny at times.
I like little kids. They have a lot to say. They've got a lot of um, they've got a lot of really funny ideas in their heads, and I don't
Oh,
mean
yeah.
funny, strange. Like they're just they amaze me with some of the things they come up with.
Yeah, especially when they're, like, getting at that age where they're not, like, babies or toddlers anymore.
No,
Uh,
they're starting to become their own
I
person.
hate babies. I
and
like when
and
they
they're
can talk.
and, like, my little ones now, they're so funny, dude, like and the way we are is, like, we laugh at, fuck almost anything, and, like,
Mhm.
some of the shit they say is just so funny, and, like, we'll all just, like a lot of laughing is done. It's so much better. Like I look at it, I'm like, man, that was so much better than the way I grew up. Like, fuck, man.
And you were right when you said like the parents. It was almost like they hated us.
Yeah,
Like
it's like
why?
we were this big burden. And I'm like, well, that's your fault because
Yeah.
you're the one that made me, not me. Like, you know,
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I think
even
things are so much better when you have fun.
even when like my like first baby's mother when she got pregnant, I was young. I was only like 19.
Mhm.
I, like, freaked out for a minute because 'cause I'm like, "Holy shit." I'm like, "I don't know how to fucking take care of a baby." But I was
Mhm.
but I was never like, "Oh, like, I don't want it, like, fuck that kid," or you know what I mean? Like, anything like that, or, like, when we had it, I was never like, "Oh, I hate you. You ruined my life." The only my only concern was I was like, I barely know how to fucking take care of myself. What am I supposed to do with this little guy?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I just rolled with it and learned how to do it, right?
As every new parent does. Nobody knows how to take care of a baby.
Yeah, but I never ever felt like I hated him or like he was a burden or it's just like like I said, it's
Yeah.
just with my parents it's like like even when I was fucking 15 years old, I was still a burden to them, and it's like really, dude.
I was
Yeah.
16 and I was happy. Like looking back, I probably would have been a mess if I didn't have a kid at that age.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I've said that too, like
I loved it.
because there was a lot of stuff at that age that I was doing that I shouldn't have been doing, and if he hadn't come along, because that settled me down quite a bit, and then even more so years later when they had the other two here, they fucking
I look at
definitely
my friends that didn't have kids at that time or whatever, and where they are now in jail and this and that, or I would have been a man whore.
Mhm. Yeah, I got buddies that are dead and in prison who I was doing the same shit with them when we were like 18, 19.
Yeah, most of my people that I hung around with are in jail. They're crackheads. They're
Yeah,
junkies. They're nothing. Nobody I want to talk to. So
yeah.
I'm glad that I got out of that. And the only reason for that is because I had a kid. Other than
Yeah.
that, and
I
Oh,
was
yeah.
16 when I had mine.
yeah,
Yeah. Far too young to have a kid, but
it isn't though, because you have your
6
whole
yeah.
life to live with the kid. Like if I had a kid now, I'd have like what 10, 20, maybe 30 years left to spend with my kid, and then that's it.
Yeah.
At least now I can spend, I've already got 30 years down, and I can do another,
Well,
50
Mm.
so years with my kid.
and the other thing
In
I
that
find
aspect, yeah.
The other thing I find interesting too is that because like I said, my oldest boy, he'll be 23 next week, and I'm still just learning this now, like dealing with him as an adult, and it's really cool, but it's like
Mhm.
kind of weird at the same time because I'm like, like he's not like like he's not a kid, but I still look at him as a kid, but I know that he's not a kid. And it's
Mhm.
like in enjoying his company and like talking to him and stuff and hanging out with him and shit like that when he's, it's weird to me because I'm like, yeah, you're a fucking adult. And I'm like,
Yep.
that's weird because I remember when you were like this 6 pound little fucking infant. And I'm like, that's, sometimes it's kind of weird to me,
Yep.
but it's
Try
cool though.
having
I
a
like it.
47-year-old and thinking, God, I remember the day you were born.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
shit, I'm
God.
not even 47 yet. Damn.
Yes. I'm telling you, I'm old. No, I'm not old. My kid's old.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I like hanging out
I
with my kid. I like that she likes the music that I like, most of it. Go to
Hmm.
concerts with her. I can go in the pit with her.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it
We're
is
probably gonna go
nice.
see, like in if you told me in 1983 that I'd be going to see the Dayglow abortions with my daughter, I'd be like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't even think of that. Or to go see Hellhammer and Guar and Devil
But I think
Driver.
I
It's
I
just
think
weird.
the thing with me though is that like it's cool to be experiencing it because like I said he's my first kid, so that's my first experience having an adult kid. I think it's cool because of that, but like the big difference is that like my parents and I weren't friends or friendly, especially when I was not like no longer a child. I mean, it's not that I was old, but I was taking care of my own shit. I was getting money and stuff like that. I didn't depend on them anymore and I left, but we never had that friendship as adults or anything like that. So I
Mhm.
think that's why I'm kind of not lost, but I'm just like, oh, okay, like this is cool. Like I basically, I don't have the experience and I'm just experiencing it now, which
It's like you'll say something and you'll think, "Oh, wait, is that appropriate? Like, should I
I'm not
say that?"
I'm not super like anal about anything. I mean, there's certain things that, of course, he's not going to talk to his father about. Certain things like I won't talk to him about. Like if it's a little, it's a lot of like being like like having guy friends with, of course, there's a line that doesn't cross like you talk to your buddy about this girl or that girl. Well, I'm not really doing that kind of shit with my kid. You know what I mean? Same with like,
Yeah.
he could talk to me about his girlfriend, but he's not going to be as crude about it as he is with his buddies kind of thing. When guys are like joking about like, oh, this one chick, she did this kind of thing, and it's like, I'm not doing that kind of stuff,
No. You know
you know,
what?
but I mean,
No.
like, we can joke, we can watch fucking stupid movies and like shit like that, music and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
It's funny. My daughter's going to be 30, and she
Mhm.
still doesn't even swear. She still never swore in front of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she'll never swear in front of me. It's funny,
My
but I
my
don't
guy
swear. Like I'm not a swearer typically, so
my guy does a little bit like but just like normal, like but it doesn't bother me. Never did. You know what I mean?
And I
I
swear
just
like a trucker, and I did it in front of my mother all
yeah,
the
I never
time.
wanted a kid walking around swearing, and like I knew all the mouthy kids and my
Mhm.
daughter's friends and stuff, and I hated that. I said, "There's no way my kid's gonna grow up like that." That would have
Well,
pissed me off.
I grew up
Mouthy
where
kids, I don't like.
my
Mhm.
parents swore in the house, so I learned how to swear in both languages. But, no, my mother and I, we became friends. Like, we would actually go out together, like, we would go to a bar and, for an evening and have fun, or we would go to not so much the movies, we would go to the theater together, actually. Um, so we had a friendship, and we were only 19 years apart.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's very hang on, 19? Yes, 19 years apart,
Yeah,
and my
that's
son and I are only 16 years apart.
me and my oldest guy. We're 19 years apart.
So, yeah, so that gives you, like, your as your son gets a little bit older,
Mhm.
and you become closer in age, you get, like, that really cool
Yeah.
friendship going on,
Well, it's
like
funny because a lot of his friends, they like can't believe when they find out like his parents are only like 43 and 44. They're like, what the fuck, dude? Because all
Yeah.
their parents are like
In the
60s,
60s.
70s and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
and I never really saw that. I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, I guess we are a little bit younger than a lot of.
It was
Mhm.
weird for me because I worked from home when my
Mhm,
daughter was in like kindergarten to grade 5 and whatever. So
mhm,
I'd go to school, pick her up from lunch and after school, and I'd be with all these like 30-year-old housewives.
mhm.
So it was like strange. And I'd go on all like the class trips and I'd be like 17, 18, 19-year-old kid with these 30-year-old housewives hanging out with them,
Yeah,
chatting with them, going for lunch, whatever. It was just weird.
yeah.
It was really weird. So,
Yeah, kids will there's a lot of weird things and a lot of fun things and
Mhm.
really all we do is like the best we can, right?
Oh yeah.
On each and no matter how much or how well you do for your kids, I can promise you that they will always look at you and say, "Oh, but you could have done better."
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Always.
absolutely. Yeah.
Like I vowed like and I'm a good example. I vowed that I wouldn't do certain things to my kids and I didn't.
Mhm,
And yet apparently there was still something I still don't know what it is, but there was
mhm.
still something
Yeah.
that he's upset with me for and isn't talking to me about it. See, I told you he was adopted. He came with a whole lot of baggage.
Mhm,
I had got he came into my house the day before his um 6th birthday
mhm.
and bounded into my house with a big grin on his face and hit the first words out of his mouth were, "Hi, mom and dad. Please don't hurt me. I love you."
Oh wow.
We had never met this kid before.
Yeah.
So, I thought it was adorable, of course, that he said, "Hi, mom and dad,"
Yeah.
and he broke my heart when he said, "Please don't hurt me." Um,
Yikes.
but and remember, I was young when I got him, so I
Mhm,
didn't really think further about it until years later, and
mhm.
I know today that those were really big fucking red flags that he threw up,
Oh yeah.
you know?
Definitely. Yeah, something there.
So I've offended him somehow, some way.
Mhm,
He still speaks to my ex-husband.
mhm.
Um, and my ex tells him every time, "Call your mother," and it's always, "Yeah, dad, I will," and he doesn't. But whatever is going on in his head, what I'm trying to say is like I did all the things right that I thought I should,
Mhm.
and something still didn't go
see, I think
the
my
way.
mother did fine though, so I wouldn't say everybody because there's nothing that I can think of that my mother should have done better.
Mhm.
Oh, that's good.
She
No,
worked. I had
seriously,
everything I
that's
needed.
good.
I was in hockey, baseball, tennis, all the sports I needed. Camps. I
Mhm.
used to go camping all the time. We didn't go on holidays or vacations, but she had to work,
Mhm.
so I wasn't. But nobody really did in my
Yeah.
group of friends.
Yeah,
I was
that's
apartment dwellers, right? Like we were
yeah,
apartment dwellers, so it was a little
yeah,
bit different than
to me
housewives.
that's rich people shit because I've still
Yeah,
never ever gone on a vacation ever.
I've been on one. I finally got to go on a cruise that one year. I guess 6 years ago. That was the only vacation I've ever been on in my life.
I've always wanted to have a like go on the cruise. That's been like one of my things, but everyone tells me that they suck.
No, they're amazing. I
Oh,
would.
are they?
That's the only vacation I would ever want to go on. And
Mm.
Hmm.
because you get to go to
I'd like
like
to.
we got to go to Florida, we got to go to the Bahamas, we got to go to a private island. Then
Oh
you
wow.
have all the cruise, like the days where you're just at sea, like for 2 out of the 7 days, you're just on the boat, and there's so much to do on the ship. You can't call it a boat. There's so
Mhm,
much to do on the ship. That's 24 hours of food. Whenever you're hungry, you just go and eat.
mhm.
Um, they had a casino on there. There's live music and shows, and it's
Yeah,
amazing.
it sounds pretty cool.
It's good,
Yeah, it
yeah.
sounds
If
fun.
you
I've
like to
never
eat,
been
if
on
you
a
like to
cruise.
gamble, if you like the beaches and different,
And I mean,
you know,
like poor little ghetto boy like me, fuck, I'd love that shit. That'd be fancy to me.
yeah,
It
it was.
is way
I loved it.
fancy.
Yeah,
Those
I
things
loved
are
the cruise.
they're expensive,
yeah.
It
you
has.
know?
They figure it out. Like if you can get a cruise that it will only cost you $100 a night, So if you get a 7-day cruise or 7-night cruise, like $700 just for the cruise,
Yeah.
and then all your extras you're going to pay as well. But $100 a day is good.
Yeah.
And then of course you're going to need extra for your shopping, and if you want the
Yeah.
drink package and all this other crazy stuff in the casino
So
and
by
blah
the
blah
time
blah.
you're done, you're talking about a $5,000 vacation.
No, about 1,500 per person is good. So $3
Yeah,
grand
because
for
I
a
think
couple.
that's what I've seen because I looked a few times just for the shit of it, and I think I saw quite a few of them were like 15, 17. I'm like, that's not bad, man.
Yeah.
Actually, it really isn't.
Yeah.
And we didn't
I've
even fly, because you can get a better cruise if you fly to Florida. Then you get to
Mhm.
spend more time in like the tropics and not Florida, like in
Mhm.
Bahamas and the different islands. But we drove to Baltimore, and then so your first stop is Florida, and then you go to the Bahama Islands, and then you go back to Florida, and then you go back to Baltimore, and then so it was a 6-hour drive to Niagara, right? So
Oh, okay.
it's not a bad drive. It saves you from flying to Florida, plane, getting a
Mhm.
hotel room, then being there first thing in the morning, then flying back, and blah 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 blah. And it
mm,
also helped at customs, because when you leave, when you go to the Bahamas, then you come back to our last stop was Key West, Florida. So customs, U.S. Customs checks you there, and they just do like a mile check. So when you actually get back, like there's no more customs for you. Everything's cleared.
Mhm.
It's just, I don't know.
hmm.
It was just better. Like, so if you ever want like a cool little cruise, I'd always, go out of Baltimore.
I'd like to go on a cruise one day, but I'd like to go on an Alaskan cruise.
Alaska, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I would like to try that.
Good evening.
Oh, hello.
How are you doing there tonight?
I'm just gonna take off, guys.
Yeah, no
Okay,
problem, Lee.
Lee,
Thanks for
Oh, no
stopping
problem.
by.
Though. I will
take it
talk to you guys
easy.
later.
Yep,
Yeah, have
have
a
a good
fun night.
one.
You too. Bye
Have a
bye.
good night, Lee.
Bye. All right. Well, yep, that was fun with Lee tonight.
You may have put him in a bad mood.
Who, me?
I don't know. I'm just joking.
I was gonna say, why would
We
I
were
put
talking
him in
about
a bad
family and
mood?
stuff. Well, talking about family and blah blah blah. Sometimes that bothers people, but no, I think it was fine. Do either of you watch Seinfeld? I see here that that Estelle Harris died at 93 years old.
George Costanza's mother?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Did you watch it?
Me?
Yeah?
I've
Did you ever
seen one
watch it?
episode,
Oh my
the one
God.
where he drops the mint in the surgery.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
That's the only episode I've seen.
Oh, no, it was hilarious. I used to watch it. There was some really good episodes. The one where they each put in $20 in the pool
Mhm.
to see who could last the longest without masturbating. And there's 4 or 5 of them around the table. And I know you haven't watched it, but I'm sure you've heard of Kramer.
Yeah, I know Kramer. I know all
Uh,
the people. I know.
okay.
I've
They
seen
sat around
clips
the
and blah,
table.
blah.
They
Mhm.
sat around the table talking for about 5, 10 minutes, and then he got up to go to the bathroom, and he came back and he threw his $20 on the table and goes, "I'm out."
Yeah.
That's my favorite episode.
Now my uncle, who I go for coffee with all the time, he loves Seinfeld. So this is Seinfeld. You remember on Seinfeld? Remember this on Seinfeld? And I always tell him every weekend, I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Do you remember this on Seinfeld? I've never seen it. So I pretty much know everything, every episode, just from him asking me if I remember it, because then he'll tell me what happens.
Oh, you're gonna eat a snack and then you're gonna get baked.
Ah,
Well,
just woke up.
what time is it where you
Yeah,
are?
what time you got there?
I forget what we're talking about. What
Yeah,
was that?
Seinfeld. So
Oh, yeah, no, your uncle.
I seen the New Jersey part, like of course the clip with the guy dressed up yelling devils and all that. But
Oh, and
I
the
don't know.
public there was one too, public urination. They get arrested for public urination. George gets arrested.
Yeah, I don't know.
My
I don't
my
remember.
best my best friend and I, We used to watch it way back then, and we referred to each other as George and Newman. Have insomnia, sleep schedule is rotating. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of snack are you gonna have? Wait,
Same time with us.
more importantly, what are you gonna get baked with?
Fire.
Fire.
In the same time as us.
So he is.
Yeah.
Dried fruit. Oh, yum. That sounds delicious.
I like those actually.
I just ate walnuts. Bong rip of outlaw strain. I have no idea what that is, but it
You
sounds
haven't had
good.
that?
I don't know.
The outlaw strain.
Rich? Huh.
Rich might be sleeping.
He might have given up the ghost. I gotta go check and
No, I'm right
see.
here.
Oh, he's
Oh,
there.
are you awake?
Yeah, what was the question?
Outlaw
We
strain. Do you know what
have
that
we
is?
had
Outlaw stream?
Mhm.
strain. Strain.
Strain.
Oh, yeah,
Weed
Redican.
strain.
Redican.
Oh, okay. Have we had it?
Yep, it's a little sativa.
Yeah. That's what our friend here is smoking.
Small rate stuff.
Do we have some still?
No.
Oh. Did I enjoy it? I'm trying to find if
Yeah,
it
you didn't
was
mind it. It wasn't heavy.
oh, then I like that. Oh, I don't know. I don't like it when it's too heavy because then I fall asleep. Rich, what are you doing?
Nothing. Just reading,
Oh,
watching WrestleMania or whatever
Yeah, that was
wrestling's
on
on.
tonight, right?
I have no idea. I have
I think
no
it's
idea
the
what it is.
WrestleMania or Road to Yeah, I think it is WrestleMania tonight.
Yeah,
I
I
seen
think it's pay-per-view, but
somebody asked if the pay-per-view was going to be on.
yeah, that's what made me
thing.
think about it. And I
Oh
saw
yeah,
it
you
and I
seen the
just
post?
yeah, I saw that post. I gotta renew. I don't know what I'm gonna
I gotta
what I'm
send
gonna
that. I
do.
gotta renew the mine too. I think mine ends on the 7th, but I haven't even watched it this month, so I don't know if I should do it.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
one
it's
I'm
a
at
what do you,
right now is nice because it's got most everything, but it's I can use like I think it's 5 subscriptions or 3 subscriptions from 5 devices.
The one I have is only
So
one, right?
yeah, I think so. So I can provide others with entertainment.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania 38. It says here
indeed they do. A
with Logan
handful of
Paul.
walnuts and an excellent snack. I don't know if you anyway, I had almonds. They were delicious.
I'm more of a cashew guy. I like cashews better than walnuts.
Rich likes cashews better too,
Chocolate covered almonds.
or
Chocolate-covered almonds
chocolate
are good.
covered. Chocolate covered raisins. Does nobody eat chocolate covered raisins
Me, I do. I
anymore?
eat glossettes or raisinets, whatever you want to call them.
It's
Oh my
awful.
God, they're
I eat
Awful.
them
delicious.
all the time. But I think I found that they're lazier with them now, and you get those little stems, the raisin stem, and that bothers me when I get them.
Oh, I haven't had chocolate covered raisins in a long time, but I love them.
I get them at the dollar store once in a
I like chocolate covered fruit, period.
while. We
Cranberries
talked
are
about
the
this last
best.
week, actually.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, and we
Stoner
spoke
brain.
about the raisins.
Stoner brain. Go ahead.
So we're talking
The
nuts this time.
cranberries. Like nuts.
Yeah,
Well, our friend was eating the dried fruit medley,
yeah.
and then talked about the walnuts. And the walnuts are do you like walnuts at all?
I'll eat them. Yeah,
Oh, they're so fresh. When they're fresh like that, it's almost like they're creamy.
yeah.
I love uh I
Rich,
love
do you ever go to
walnuts.
Picard's?
It's been a while.
Do you
Long
like
Like
their
time.
chip nuts?
that's what I went for. Yep.
Okay, yeah, I go there every Christmas and I treat myself to bags and bags of chip nuts.
I think it
Bangs
was
and
it's
bags.
probably you that got us trying them. So there was the Picards and then the one in on the lake.
Mhm.
And then I think there's another one in Fawn Hill.
Fawn Hill, yeah. Yeah,
On
the one
Hill.
I go to the one in by the McDonald's in Niagara Lake.
Yeah, we used to go to the one in Font Hill because it was on the way to work. So
Yeah. No, I love Picards. They're chip nuts. It doesn't even matter what flavor. I like them all. But they're chocolate bars. If you ever go there again, if you like mint chocolate,
no,
I
Bonnie's gonna
do.
want to go tomorrow.
yeah. So the mint they're homemade mint chocolate bars from there.
Homemade, no less.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So they're supposed to be good. And if you like
I
those
miss.
honey covered nuts, they have the golden nuggets. Those ones are really good. Like
No,
beer nut type things.
Oh, I like beer nuts too.
Yeah.
not for me.
Get the gold nugget.
Oh, with a lot, they're coated with sugar. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I can't
The
eat those
salty
until I
sweet.
get my teeth
Mhm.
my
I
teeth
like
rebuilt.
the salty sweet, the savory and sweet flavors together.
Yeah. You'll like those
Mm-hmm.
ones.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
like the spicy ones from there. I like the chip nuts. I don't know why. I just love those.
No, I like those too.
We haven't had them in a long time.
Nope. We really should go to Picard soon.
I had
Yeah, they were
4
selling
bags.
them at Bulk Barn too.
Are they?
They used to. They were selling them. I don't know if they kept them in or not, but they had them in there in prepackaged bags,
Oh,
right
I
from
didn't.
Picard's, and
Oh, I didn't realize. No.
yeah. And then they had them in there for a short while, and I haven't seen them since.
Hmm.
But I haven't looked for them either because don't really go to Bulk Barn anymore.
But when you go there, Bonnie, grab a bag of their chocolate covered raisins because those are really good there.
From Picard's?
Yeah.
And the
Mm.
mint
And the
chocolate
mint
bar.
chocolate bar or any whatever flavor. They're homemade
I want to
chocolate
go to
bars.
that store in Niagara Lake, the old store, the old candy store.
Yeah, I go there too to get whatchamacallit chocolate bars.
I want to find some Royale chocolate bars.
They should have them there. There's a new one on Lundy's Lane too that has an old time chocolate store.
I have to check it out.
Or Candy Funhouse if you want to do an order online, but you got to spend, to get free shipping, spend a lot. But Candy Funhouse has all that
I
stuff.
love candy.
They have all their
kinds of
old
candy.
candy from your days. They have them in there too.
Mm-hmm. The olden days.
Fig Newtons.
I hate Fig Newtons. That is the worst excuse for a cookie ever.
I
Cookie's
used to
supposed
like
to be
them. I haven't had one in
sweet.
years, but
Mm. I like edibles as well, but I find it's hard to control. I guess it's your dosage. Like I never know what's going to happen.
as long as you do it on a Saturday morning, you're fine.
So I can be ready for work on Monday morning.
Yeah, yeah. It knocks you out
Some
for 2 days.
RSO.
I still haven't tried that. The RSO, the whatever
Yep.
tears.
Oh yeah.
Rickson oil or Phoenix Tears.
Yeah.
Why? Don't be scared of it.
I'm a little intimidated by it. I won't
No,
lie.
you just
I'm
you won't even
intimidated.
feel a thing if you do it just for treatment. Unless Rich puts it, unless you smoke it, maybe smoke it.
No,
See what
it'll
happens.
have to go to next weekend because I have no.
You have to
I
put it
need
under
to
your
be,
tongue and swallow her.
and it tastes bad.
It doesn't taste good, but you've probably tasted worse things in your life.
Not voluntarily.
I've seen your ex.
I didn't want to go that rude, but
Rich, what am I smoking tonight? I forget.
Pineapple Express and Mazar
Mazar hash. Yeah.
I haven't
Homegrown
tried that
Pineapple
one yet.
Express.
I haven't tried the Mazar.
Well, it's
Pretty good.
pretty
Yeah.
good. I'm pretty high.
I still finishing off the Habibi. That's what I've been working on.
Yeah. Are you smoking tonight?
A little, not much.
Yeah.
I think the Cashmere was the best.
The cashmere was good. I can admit that.
I don't remember the cashmere. I remember the Moroccan. The Moroccan
Well,
was the best.
they were all good. The
The
hard one was,
Moroccan.
I think, the best one
That's the
overall.
Moroccan one. That
Oh
was the
my
one I
God, it
got
was
from somewhere else. So that
was
wasn't
so
from that place.
delicious. Oh, but it was so delicious.
Well, I have
It's
more here for you. So another
it
little chunk.
tasted exotic.
Yeah.
Like I guess that's why they called it Moroccan, because it honestly I could envision
Well, it's from
Morocco.
Morocco.
I
Yeah,
could
the Moroccan
envision it.
stuff was the best stuff. Yeah.
That was
And I still have some
nice.
here for you then. You
Cool.
guys like it better than me. So.
It's delicious. I don't
Have you tried
remember.
any of that crumbly stuff, Rich? That BC.
Have not. Actually,
Try that.
forgot about it.
Try that one day.
Try it now.
Give it a
Rich,
shot.
Are you trying it now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Maybe well, how are you smoking it? Are you mixing it?
Hmm?
How are you smoking it? I gotta go see.
You're gonna go see.
Yeah.
They'll probably have
I
it.
don't-
I'm
haven't
not
even
good
done
at
anything.
that.
yet. I'm just gonna put it in the vaporizer in the Dynavap.
In the Dynavat?
Yeah, a little bud.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Well,
Disappointing?
yeah, well, I was gonna take some, but it's cool. It's
Are
all
there any hard pieces, or is it all crumbly now? Is it all just?
No, there's some harder pieces, but it's pretty
Yeah.
well crumbly. Yeah. Put a little heat on it, but kind of afraid.
When I tried it, I just put I mixed it with flour. That's how I had to smoke it.
Yeah, that's how I'm gonna have to have it. Actually,
So I don't know how it was like alone. I never tried it alone.
I'm gonna find out in a minute. I think.
my vaporizer keeps turning off.
That's what you said last week.
Oh, I guess I lose track of time, right?
Yeah.
It only stays on for 15 minutes.
But it feels like it only stays on for 5. That's what I'm saying. I guess I lose track of time. Oh my gosh. Thank God tomorrow's Sunday. It's a Sunday
Anything
do
fun
nothing
tomorrow?
day. No.
Tomorrow I gotta go out with my uncle for coffee.
I gotta take some plants out
Oh,
tomorrow.
I forgot. Yeah. You're going out for coffee tomorrow with Tony?
No, my other uncle.
Oh, Frank? Sorry. Yeah. No, I'm not. Rich is going to take some plants over, and I think that's about all we got going on.
I think he said
Sundays we don't like to do very much.
10:30.
10:30?
That's when I have to go out. Yeah.
Mm. No, I got to clean bird cages tomorrow. That's fun.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I did all my cleaning today. Today was cleaning day.
I didn't actually do any cleaning today.
You didn't. I did.
You did?
Yeah.
What did you
Rich
do?
cleaned and made us
Wow.
his own sandwich. Unbelievable.
And I made the bed too.
And made the bed. Oh my
Yep.
God.
And he made my dinner.
What'd you eat?
Grilled cheese
Oh.
and ham. It was
I haven't eaten
delicious.
yet. I don't know what I'm gonna have tonight.
She made the other half of dinner though.
Why would you even bother eating at this time? Like, why wouldn't wait, have you eaten at all today?
I had a couple cookies earlier.
Of course you did.
I'll eat. I'm up till like 3, 4 in the morning anyway. So even if I eat now, it's fine.
Oh, well, I guess if you're up that
I was
late,
doing things. I wasn't hungry.
yeah, you know what? I'm
But I
like
will get
that.
hungry.
When I'm busy, I don't feel I forget about food. I forget about hunger. I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm focused. And then when I stop, it's like, wow, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day.
And after that dental surgery, I couldn't eat what I wanted to eat for a few days. So it kind of like, my appetite just went down.
hmm
So
And you said you lost weight though,
get
right?
used to it. I was losing weight before that, yeah, but yeah, which is fine.
Yeah.
I'll gain it back.
Yeah. Keep eating cookies.
Cookies doesn't do it.
No.
It's if I get into the butter tarts and the baked good stuff. Like cookies, I
So
can have 2 cookies and be fine. But a
I
butter tart, I'll want like 2 or 3 butter tarts, and that's it for me. Done. Like, you know,
I never used to be one for eating sweets, and I find that now that's all I want.
I've
Cookies and
always been
cakes.
the
Oh my gosh, I got lemon tarts in the fridge.
yeah, like lemon
Lemon
tart.
lemon squares.
See, if I buy that stuff or make that stuff and cheesecake and stuff, I just eat it all like within the day or two myself.
Me too. And then feel
But
gross.
cookies, I can have a couple cookies, like maybe 4 cookies a day, and that's good. I'm fine with that with my coffee. But
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever reason, those other baked goods, I just eat that stuff like mad.
But real sweet weakness though is candy. Like
Yeah, I'm not a
sugar.
candy eater.
Oh, I love candies. Um, the
Wine gums. I do
Swedish
like wine
berries.
gums and
I don't
Swedish
mind.
berry. Like I like gummies and stuff, but wine gums are my favorite. I'll eat
I
those
like
things.
wine gums, but I like Nerds and Runts, like
See, I don't like that stuff.
the pure
Hard candy, I
sugar.
don't like.
Oh,
I
I
don't like hard
I like it. It doesn't matter if it's hard because I chew it all anyway.
candy.
I can't suck on a candy.
Yeah.
It's stronger than I am. I put it in my mouth and like a couple seconds later I'm crunching on it.
What if you had a gobstopper? I remember when I
I
used to have the gobstoppers, I would try so hard to like break through that thing because it would take
Yep.
way too long,
Yep. I
and
would
I'd just be like,
try.
this stupid thing just.
Yep. And
Yeah,
your jaw would be sore, your teeth would ache and like
yeah.
I lost a tooth from one. I lost a tooth from a Jolly Rancher.
a
I lost a
Jolly
tooth
Rancher.
from a gummy crocodile. And I remember because I ate it in class. I don't know, it must have been, it was in between like grade 1 and grade 5, but I was eating it in class and I wasn't supposed to. I just remember I went, and then my tooth went right out. And then there was blood, like my whole mouth is filled out with blood. And I had to explain to the teacher that my tooth came out, and then I took out this half-eaten gummy crocodile with my tooth stuck to it. And I got in trouble because I was eating candy in class and blood all over the place. But yeah,
Reg, what our friend wants to know what flavor your gobstopper was, and they're
a
guessing
Jolly
that it was
Rancher.
or Jolly Rancher. They're guessing it was green apple.
It was yellow.
Ew, the worst
We were
color
playing,
ever.
yeah, we were playing foot hockey, and I was chewing it, and I opened my mouth and bit down on it sideways, and out came my tooth. And crying, I went to the principal's office. I think I was probably about 7 or 8.
Uh, that's
Hey
funny.
man, that hurt. My tooth is bleeding, and my face is bleeding, and
Mhm.
I never lost a tooth
it
like
was one of
that.
those teeth that you know when they hang on, and you have to pull them from the gum.
Mhm.
When
Because
it was one
they're
of
hung
those. It was
hu-
hanging. It was just
by
hanging and
one
hanging and hanging.
string.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, mine was one of the ones on the side, and it pulled it right out. It was a hard, like one of those hard gummy. It wasn't like a soft gummy candy. It was one of the
Oh,
harder ones.
it actually
It
pulled.
pulled it right out.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
like
I
those
was just chewing and it
Halloween
went, and it went
those
right out.
those Halloween toffee candies. You know
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
with the
ones that
little
are
witch
wrapped
and the
up.
little black hat and its orange wrapper. Yeah,
Yes, those things will pull your fillings out.
yeah, yeah.
I know.
So we had to. Yeah, I just remember because I got in trouble for eating candy in class, which you're not supposed to.
Yeah, you're not supposed to eat candy. I
Is that what they're called?
don't know. I don't know. Rich, did you
Oh,
try
he was
it?
calling me Yeti. He was calling me Yeti. I forget what those were called. The
Did I try what?
The hash.
Halloween kisses.
Working on
Um,
it.
I don't know.
I only know what they're called in French.
What did you guys call them?
La tire.
And what does that mean in English?
like taffy.
Okay.
Actually, let's see it as really, really what it is what you get in the sugar bush. You know, when you pour this maple syrup on the snow,
Mhm.
you know how it gets sticky? So that's what they call la tire in
They were
French.
called kisses. That's what I thought they were called. So they were called kisses. They were molasses kisses.
Molasses.
Yeah.
They were
It's the
Awesome.
they
story.
were
There's a whole thing
awful.
of it. It's the story of Canada's cursed candy kiss. So maybe
Oh,
they were only in Canada.
well, they were awful until you
Yeah,
had
I hated
nothing
getting
else.
those. Yeah.
But when you had nothing else left in your Halloween bag, then they were okay.
Oh God, I would trade for them.
Oh, you
Yeah.
like those?
Oh, I love these things. I would give my candy corn away for these things.
Oh God, everybody should give their
They
candy.
actually started in 1895.
Huh. So they're just a
Yeah.
Canadian thing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They started
What?
off in Scotland as the steamship brand molasses candy. And then
Mm-hmm.
when they came to Canada, they called them Kerr's, made by Kerr's Kisses, and then they turned into the Halloween ones.
So they're made by Kerr, though.
Kerr, yeah.
Huh. I did not know that.
So it says what people do, but I've never heard of this. But people put them into a steaming, like a fresh, hot Tim Hortons coffee, and it will melt into your coffee to make a unique seasonal treat. Have you ever heard of
I,
that?
no, but it sounds good.
Pass.
I would do
Yeah,
that.
I wouldn't do that, but
Oh, I would do that.
well, get one next time you get one. Go trick or treating and then get a Kerr's Kiss and
They
throw
leave
it in
this
your
creamy
coffee.
film in your mouth as it is, and now you put it in a coffee and you get the extra oily, slick type thing.
I
No,
used to
thanks.
put a chocolate mint in my coffee and let it melt. Of course, I drink my coffee black, so
See if they have a U.S. version of those. I'm sure they probably had a bad candy that was always in their trick or treating.
mm,
Did you
most
like
people,
the rockets?
those were my favorite.
You liked rockets?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what they're called in the States?
Mm-hmm.
Smarties, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. That's why the Americans get confused that are Smarties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I forgot what I was doing. I guess the most people find that the worst candy is the
Candy
candy
corn.
corn. Yeah.
I don't mind those. I don't mind candy corn, but I never got it at Halloween, to be honest.
I never got a lot. I did get it. I didn't get a whole lot.
The
I don't
worst
mind
thing,
it.
the worst thing for me that I used to get would be an Eat More because I hated that
Oh,
chocolate.
my favorite.
You like that?
My favorite.
I haven't had one since a kid, but I hated Eat More. I couldn't stand that.
They're actually pretty good. I always thought that I didn't like them until I met Rich.
Yeah.
And they're, as he said, they're his favorite. And I tasted it, and it's like, they're really not that bad.
They're just nutty, right?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had one in years, of course, but I
They're
just remember
they're
them being
really
nutty.
they're really good.
Lots of peanuts, and then I don't know, molasses or toffee or taffy or something. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
Molasses.
That's what those Halloween kisses are, molasses.
So are they Eat More, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, they're good.
And we'd always get those little 2 packs of chiclets. I don't know if they still have those anymore, but
I remember
I
those.
just remember getting
Yeah.
those all the time.
My favorite though were the little miniature chiclets, the fruit
Multicolored
flavored.
ones.
Yeah, the fruit flavored ones. Yeah.
Out of the gum, like that, I like the little bag of gold. Did you ever get that? It was like a little white sack with the ribbon, and
Yep.
Gold
inside was
Rush.
those
Yep.
little gold. Yeah, I like
Mm-hmm.
those.
Good
They had a
stuff.
good flavor.
Mm-hmm.
How about the wax candy? Do you remember that? Like the vampire teeth?
Yep.
Horrible.
I know.
I
Worst
liked
things
them.
ever.
And you chew. We used to get the cigars. There were cigars, little tubes with the, and then you chew the wax after you drink the bottle. And the wax lips.
Yeah, the wax. There was weird candy back then.
Yep. Do you remember black babies?
I know what they. I know that I know them, but I don't know if I remember them from a kid.
Okay.
But
I remember
Black
them.
balls.
Black babies.
Yeah, we used to get them.
And there was also they looked like black babies, but they weren't black. They were brown. They were fudge. And I
Yeah,
don't know
I
what
don't
they were
remember them.
they were called. They looked just like the little black babies, but these were like fudge type. And I don't know what they were called, but they were really good too.
Never seen those before.
Mm.
Black babies. My grandmother
They
used
were
to like those.
Yeah, they were black licorice.
The only black licorice ones I like are the old people one. You know, you get that bag and some are like 3
The
layers
all
stripe
the
and some
all sorts.
all sorts. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like those. I don't know why, but
Oh, I can't eat yellow candy.
no.
When I was a kid, you remember the bags of Christmas candy, that the hard candy that you used to buy, and you would put it out only at Christmas time and they would all clump together. They were hard as rock.
Mhm.
When I was a kid, I ate all the yellow candies out of the candy dish and then puked my guts out.
Mm.
And from that day forward, I could never eat a yellow candy. I can't eat. There's certain things that I just can't eat that are yellow. Like I can eat a lemon or whatever, but mostly candy, if it's yellow, even if it's not
What about those
lemon,
marshmallowy bananas?
I liked those. I
Yeah.
haven't had one. I haven't had one in years. The yeah, they were bananas,
Mhm.
but they have like a peanut one too.
I know they had a strawberry one. They could have had a peanut one. I don't know. I remember the banana and the strawberry. That's all I remember.
Banana, yeah. I told you I like candy. Candy is my
They
candy
did
was a
have a peanut one,
weakness. They
citrus
did,
peanut. Yeah.
but that was way before I didn't like anything yellow. But I don't eat yellow candy, even if
I
it
always
tastes like
liked red. Red flavors were my favorite, anyways.
red and orange are my two go-tos. And then green, I guess.
Green?
hmm
Yeah,
I don't
green
mind
was kind
green.
of weird.
Yeah. My favorite all time candy are the green mint leaves, spearmint leaves.
Hmm.
I love those things. When I was pregnant with my son, um, oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
Um, when I was pregnant with my son, my cravings were for those mint candies, and I used to eat tons of them. And I thought for sure that I would lose that taste for them after, and I still like those candies.
See, I never really ate. If I was to buy stuff, I would either get a chocolate bar, bag of chips, or like an ice cream thing. I never really did the candies too much.
We used to have penny candy, and you could just go in, 3 for a nickel or whatever it was, and you just build up your own bag of candy.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, we had stores like that.
hmm,
It was mostly
and then
gummy stuff.
they got rid of all of the candy, and all the candy was out in the open. Like you wouldn't be able to,
Mhm.
we wouldn't be allowed to do that today.
No.
But then they got rid of all that penny candy, and then a long time after, there was a little store that I used to go to, and it had penny candy, real penny candy, like from when I was a kid. And I used to go there every day and get myself like a buck's worth of candy. I don't know. Pretty much the highlight of my day, getting candy. Yep.
I'd go to Becker's and get whatever my mother needed, and then probably a chocolate bar, a bag of chips, and a pack of hockey cards.
Uh,
That's what I would get all the time.
and in the summertime, I'm a young kid, like 10. Biggest treat was, do you remember that pastry, a passion flaky
Mhm.
cream puff? I have passion flaky, that and a cream soda.
Mhm.
Big treat.
Cream soda and cheese balls was my favorite treat. But the cheese balls tasted better back then. Probably so did the cream soda.
Mhm.
Mostly everything did. But that
Everything
was
did.
my favorite Friday night treat with a babysitter and a movie.
It's nice though. It's nice that
Mhm.
we have these like little memories and things to look back, like things that were so simple. Your Friday
Mhm.
night treat. When I was
Yeah.
growing up, Friday night meant pizza and French fries.
I would
And
usually get pizza that night, and then my mother would she'd normally go out on a Friday night with her friends, and I'd have a babysitter.
Mhm.
And then so pizza, cheese balls, and that was the only night a week. Like I would only be allowed pop and chips one day a week, and that would probably
Yep.
be it. So it was a
Yep.
lot different.
Well, when I had like pizza and fries on Friday night, I was telling Rich about it one day, and he thought it was weird because here in Ontario, it's pizza and wings. There's no pizza and
Yeah,
fries anywhere.
yeah,
But back in Quebec, it's pizza and wings,
yeah. It was
pizza and
so weird.
fries.
Probably I guess when I was 12 or 13 is when we used to start going on those skiing trips to old Quebec City, and then we ordered pizza to the hotel, and they'd come with a bag of fries,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, why fries? And then they're like, well, that's what comes with pizza in Quebec, and it's like, oh, okay, that's
Yep.
weird.
Yep.
Yeah, and the fries were good, better than the
Damn
pizza
good.
actually. Not from whatever place we got it from, I don't know, but the fries were good.
Oh, the fries are always good. And we still, when I go home and we order pizza, and it still comes with a
Still
bag of
fries?
fries. Yep.
That's good.
Yep. So from even when I was a kid and still today, it's just the Quebec tradition, just like you
Mm,
guys with the fries and wings and pizza.
yeah, pizza and wings here. But can you upgrade the fries to poutine?
Sometimes, yeah. Well, you pay for it. And
Yeah.
yeah, I would put fries on my pizza sometimes. Stoner.
I don't know if we did that, if we put the fries on the pizza,
I did. And
but we did used to have
and
fun in Quebec.
we used to and hot dogs, steamies, in Quebec.
Mm,
And you open up your bun and you line both sides of your hot dog with fries.
okay, I never did that.
Oh, delicious.
The only
Well, wait.
stoner the only stoner thing we did with hot dogs was that like go to a 7-Eleven and get the stoner food late at night, like
Yep.
4 in the morning.
Yep.
And we'd have the hot dog and we put the chili and cheese and all like just go
Oh,
crazy and make a chili dog at 7-Eleven
Rich,
and then get
doesn't
your
that
chili
sound
cheese.
good?
Oh yeah.
Want to go to 7-Eleven
And then
now.
nachos with the chili and cheese. The 7-Eleven stoner food. And then get the taquito.
Mhm.
That's what I used to get. So I'd get a hot dog, the nachos, and a taquito.
So
And that
the
was the
other night
stoner food.
the other night, we're laying in bed stoned,
Mhm.
putting together, a skip order for
Oh no, yeah.
7-Eleven, and the fucking amount of food that we put on our order, we didn't order anything. We
Mhm.
were just putting the order together because we were stoned, and we wanted everything, which a whole bunch of shit, and what there was a taquito and a,
Oh, they're
um
so good. Those are so good. I love those.
I like
I haven't had
taquitos.
one in a long time.
I like them. And, Rich, remember when we were putting the thing together? No, I
Yeah,
thought
we
you
had
had
chicken wings and pizza and
I
I
forgot
haven't
about
tried the
everything.
a couple
7-Eleven pizza.
packages of
Have you guys ever
nacho.
tried that?
What
Yeah, it's
what?
nothing to write home about.
7-Eleven pizza, because they never had that when I would go to 7-Eleven.
It gets the job done, but it's not great.
It's not
I
like
think
their
their
chili
chicken
stuff.
wings are good.
I've never had their chicken
Yeah, they're all
wings.
right.
Yeah,
Their
they're
nachos
okay.
is where it's at.
The nachos, yeah, you need the nachos.
Chili cheese
Chili
nachos
cheese nachos with all that stuff, and then
and the
and the cheese
taquitos.
always runs out whenever I go, so I have to wait for them to refill the machine. But the hot dog, if you get the hot dog and put the chili and cheese on that,
Oh,
oh,
yum.
it's so good.
Hey, Rich, do you feel like going to 7-Eleven?
You guys
I
have
drive
one
them
near
by.
you?
What was that?
Do you have a 7-Eleven near you?
Yeah.
I think I have one, right? I don't know if it's the one down there closed, but I think there's still one more.
Yeah,
I
there's
haven't been there in
one
a long time.
not far from us.
But I
Nope,
look
just
at that skip the dishes and I think, when I was a teenager, stoned out of my mind, laying, by my building, and then I could just order skip. They would it would have been dangerous
Mhm.
back then.
Yeah. Instead, you had to go home and you'd have to put a frozen pizza in the oven.
No, we could walk to 2 for 1 pizza, but I did do the frozen pizza.
Yeah.
And I remember Rob was laying on the hill because I lived right by there was a hill, my apartment building, then a hill, and then the highway was there. And we'd
Mhm.
always just lay on the hill and just watch the cars zooming by. And I said, "You hungry?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I don't know what time it was, 2:33 in the morning. So I went upstairs and I made this big frozen pizza. I go back down there and he's gone. So I just folded the pizza and I laid there and I ate this large pizza just folded, not even in slices, just this folded pizza, just sitting back there till like 5, 6. Then the sun came up and I'd go home.
Wow, that sounds nice.
But we would just sit out back there. No one even bothered us. Like it wasn't legal then. We would just sit out there. We had we had a bong made out of a PVC pipe, a hockey puck, and like this fish tank stuff. And we just made this little bong that we would carry around. And we would just sit out there and do bongs I don't know, all day and night. No one even cared. Didn't bother us.
Giant taco pizza, yeah.
Yeah, taco pizza. I've made one of those before too.
You made an actual taco pizza?
I had leftover taco stuff,
Mhm.
and then I made a frozen pizza, and then I just put the taco stuff in
Stuff
there
over
and
the top?
folded it and made had a taco. I had
Sounds
lettuce in
good.
there, everything. It was funny. It was good.
We do, what are they called now? Tortilla pizzas.
Mhm.
Small tortillas, and we put our stuff on. Um, 'Cause I like thin pizza. Well, so does Rich too. We like thin crust,
Mhm.
and I don't know, this is just it's not as, filling as a regular crust pizza, so we make the little tortilla pizzas when we're high, usually. That's our that's our
My f-
stoner food.
One friend in my building, he gets stoned all the time, and and the one night he ordered a pizza. He put it on his coffee table, went to the bathroom, came back out, and his German Shepherd ate the whole pizza.
Oh, I would
So then, so
cry.
then he smoked another joint, and then he thought about it. And his parents were sleeping, and he decides, okay. So he went into his kitchen because he had no more money. Went into his kitchen, he found a bag of frozen fries, put it in the deep fryer, sat back on the couch, fell asleep, woke up to the fire alarm, his kitchen on fire, the curtains melting, his parents yelling, "What's going on?" He burned down his apartment.
Yeah, that's bad.
And then, so they fixed it all up, and the parents had to like pay for all the damages and all that. And then 3 months later, he did the exact same thing. Burned down his kitchen, fell asleep with the deep fryer going.
Fuck. I would have to tell him that I would have to ban him from the kitchen.
He was banned from his apartment after that one, I think.
Well, we do shit like that, not burn our apartment down, but we make food at, like, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Rich is always, like, pulling out the deep fryer and or, making chicken nuggets or chicken wings or whatever.
I have Chinese food still. I can have some General Tao chicken tonight.
I love General Tso chicken. I haven't had that in a long
Yeah,
time. Yep.
it's
I'm
funny.
pretty fucking baked.
That's good.
Yeah, it is. I feel good. Just so tired lately. I have no energy. I had a nap. Well, I didn't really sleep. I slept for about 10 minutes, but I laid down this afternoon for a nap because I just have no energy. After work,
Once
I
the
went
sun
and got
comes, you'll be
groceries.
fine.
Oh, I hope so. It was nice out today, though. It was cold, but the sun was out there.
I didn't even go out there today.
You didn't go out at all?
No, I just stayed in, cleaned, relaxed, ignored everybody, and just did my own
Mm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't fully ignore everybody, but for the most part, I did my own thing today.
Well, as you know, I worked this morning. I went and did groceries after work. And then I came home and it was like, oh fuck, I just gotta lay down for a while.
Tomorrow's going to be snow, rain.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Enough with the
it's
snow.
supposed to be snowing here now. I don't see it snowing, but yeah, snow tonight, and then snow in the morning and rain. Mix of
Let's
snow and rain.
see if it's snowing here. No, it's not snowing here.
And then Monday will be back up in the pluses. How about
Yeah.
Wednesday? It's going to rain Wednesday, 100%, right? Because that's the day I have to
Yeah, of course.
go. Every Wednesday so far, when I've gone for my dental stuff,
It's been
it's rained.
raining.
Yeah, see, Wednesday cloudy with showers. Every other day around it, sun plus 11. Then Wednesday cloudy with showers.
Monday, remind me Monday that I need to speak to you.
Okay.
But it's really super important that you remind me.
I have to put it on my calendar, my work calendar.
Okay.
Speak to Bonnie.
Yeah.
That's Monday the 4th. So Monday the 4th, I have cube training and video training, but I'll make time.
Or even like I said, I
Is it
like
about
to
your schedule?
a little bit. Yes. No,
Because I got to
not a
talk
little
to you
bit.
about your schedule. So
Oh, what? Oh, not now. Just a second. What'd you say?
Mhm.
Your headset died? Okay. I was just going to say, what about it? But we're not going to talk work.
I probably have to talk to you about the days that you needed off that I forgot because I didn't write them down. So.
Oh, good. That's okay because I need to talk to you about a day that I need off.
Okay, well that's all. So we can just figure it out.
Okay,
As
that's
long as
fine.
you don't need Monday off or Tuesday or Wednesday. Not
No, I
Wednesday.
need the 21st
Oh, that's
off
fine then. Yeah, that's good then.
because I had
I haven't even got to those days.
my ticket booked for the 23rd.
Mhm.
And I got an email saying that they were doing maintenance on the line that I'm traveling, Montreal to Toronto to Montreal.
Mhm.
The 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Okay.
And
So we'll
anyway,
talk about. So that's the same thing I got to talk to you about. So there you go.
yeah. So it works out okay. Anyway, so I had to rebook my ticket. That's all. And then I thought, well, I'm just gonna have to let you know.
And I did your sheets after you told me. I just didn't tell you that I did.
Did you? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, right after, like a minute after.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Taking the day off, taking the day after 420 off.
Yeah,
Yep.
there you go.
True. True. But I mean, I can't be doing the 420 stuff on the job the day of.
Yeah, she's not allowed to do that. She'll get in trouble from
Mm-mm.
her employer.
Mm-hmm. Listen to you, big boss man.
I didn't say boss. I didn't
Oh,
try to say
my
anything like that. I
my
was wording it
employer.
properly. I
My
was wording it
employer.
properly.
My employer. I like big boss men better.
And I forget what day, but if Rich still wants to go to that convention, the pot convention, whatever it is,
Yeah,
I'll be
when
happy to go with him.
I don't know when it is.
I thought you said you were going to be gone, so it's got to be one of those days,
But
right?
I'm leaving, yeah.
So,
Well, I told
but
you
if he
I'm
wants to
leaving
go,
the
I'll be happy to
21st.
go.
Okay, well you talk to him about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell him. But then you guys can talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll go just see what's around there.
Yeah.
I've been to tons of conventions. The only one I haven't gone to is There's the pot conventions.
I've never been to one.
To a pot convention.
Yep. I
I've
wonder if
gone
they're
to
going to
toy conventions, comic conventions,
wait. Do you think they'd give
reptile
out?
conventions.
You
Samples,
think?
yeah, that's what I want to
Yeah,
go for. Samples.
free edibles.
Possibly, yeah.
That would be awesome.
I'll just walk around getting the samples. But who knows? I don't know if conventions are like that these days, but
Yeah, you probably can't give out free samples.
I don't know.
No, probably not.
I'll take their rolling papers.
Yeah, you use rolling papers.
Mhm.
Might have a whole bunch. I don't know. We
I
always
still have some.
get some.
I still have some from like the 90s. I think.
We got rolling papers here? No. I thought we don't have any. Oh, just meant what? Ew. You want cherry flavored ones?
No, I don't like flavor.
Mm-hmm. That's all we got. Hmm. You know what?
I do not.
I got a fucking joint I want to smoke. Already rolled.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
what's
don't
in
think
that
I'm
one?
going to. I don't know. Hey, Rich.
It's better not to know sometimes.
I think I'll smoke. I got to smoke in the by the window though.
Yeah.
Can't smoke in the house. Open up my window, I
There's
think.
somebody who smokes in my building, but they only do it at nighttime. If I
Mhm.
go out in the hall now, all you'll smell is
A
this
little
weed
bit
out
of
there.
Can't open up my window.
Lucky you mentioned work because I didn't. I went to the calendar and I noticed that I didn't do anything for tomorrow, so I had to assign my stuff for tomorrow.
The hell is all that noise?
It's
Is that
Rich.
you?
No. It's Rich with his broken mic.
I thought you said his headset died.
He's telling me stories.
Thought your headset's dead. What the hell were you rummaging?
Now I hear you double.
Yeah, I got to go back into. We can hear you.
Because it's hooked up to the, on the charger.
Oh,
That's why it was, remember when it was fading in and out before, because it was gonna start, and I didn't have it on the charger, so I put the charger off at night, because otherwise the light shines.
I gotta move because it's there's echoing. Hey, Reg.
Not too bad.
Can you come and open up this window?
Yeah. Is that
Okay.
better?
Yep. No, we don't hear any of the. I gotta get a torch.
There's Rich. You can see him ghosting through there.
Yeah. Where's my
What's he got?
torch? I don't know. What do you mean? What's he got?
In his hand there.
I don't know. I'm in my bedroom.
He's hiding it.
What do you got in your hand? He wants to know. Oh, the tube from my my joint. You ready? Wait, I don't know how to turn my torch on.
Was it a pre-roll one that you got?
This is, yeah.
And where do you get those from? Like order it, or do you just
No, the weed store.
Okay.
You buy them like this.
Yeah.
I forget what this is now. Rich,
Yeah.
what is this stuff? Do you remember?
I think it's roasted cake and hash.
Oh, sorry. This does not come from the weed store. This is just a rolled cone blunt, whatever the fuck you call these things.
Hmm.
A wrap, and it's dosi cake and hash
Okay.
inside.
So just your own rolled one.
Yep, it's just the wrapper that is like pre-formed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Preformed wrapper.
Yep.
They make those for people who don't know how to roll.
Nobody knows how to roll today.
I do.
Yeah. Most people today don't know how to roll. I don't even have an ashtray here. I don't ever smoke in here. But I didn't want to go outside to the patio in the dark.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta butt that shit.
Is that too much for you?
Thank you. A little bit. It's a little on the, one more, a little on the harsh side.
It's good for you. A nice cough once in a while.
Now I'm done. And I'm probably going to be done for the
You're gonna
night
be
now,
done.
too. Yep.
Yep. We've been on here for 3 hours.
Yeah, well, it was a good one. I guess it's time to pack it in. It was fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it again, of course. We'll have
Yeah.
to pick some more scintillating topics to discuss and solve world problems.
I'm
Oh
not here to
man,
solve anybody's problems.
I am way the fuck baked already now.
That's
Like
good.
way up here. Oh boy.
That's why the smoke's good for you sometimes.
I
Not the
really
vape.
I like it sometime though.
Yeah.
You get higher, way higher. Like it's not the same at all. And I like it. I like a good lung full of raw smoke in my lungs.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoy that. I don't know. I've always liked that. I like the feeling of the smoke going in, and I don't know why. But I
I
still like it.
haven't smoked cigarettes in 13, 14 years now.
Mm.
And the first time I took a toke off of whatever, I can't formulate. The first time I took a toke, I thought for sure I was going to choke and cough and probably end up really dizzy and blah. Nothing. It was like I had just put one down like an hour ago.
Yeah.
It was nothing. It's not at all like a cigarette after you haven't smoked for a while.
No. Yeah.
And then you smoke and you get like sick to your stomach and dizzy and that kind of shit. You know what? I'm just looking at you. I can see you've lost weight.
I shaved though too, so
Oh,
that
maybe
always
that's
makes
what
it
it
work.
is. Because your face is like really thin.
Well, I have lost weight. Well, I don't know. Not since last week. Since last week, all I lost was all
Yeah,
my
but
white. When I shaved today, I looked at my beard hair, and it's like pure white. It was interesting.
well, dude, like
I like it
you're
though.
you're like 54.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be like 80 next week. But no, I liked that it was white. Not just.
Mm.
I'm glad it wasn't just gray. I like that it was like pure white. It looked neat.
So you can have that whole wizard effect thing.
Might as well, right? I might as well go for the long.
Might as well.
Just go for it.
And then get
Especially if
the
when I lose this up here, I'll just
scepter.
replace it with down here. That's all.
And you will lose it up here.
Oh yeah, that's fine by me.
That's
But
okay.
you know how
I'm
some
going to
people do
lose
the
it.
comb over? To
Yep.
comb over their bald. I'll do the comb up, and I'll tie it up at the top,
In
right?
an
I'll
elastic.
get a whole bunch. I'll just tie it up, and I'll make a. I guess I'd have to do a man bun, but
Well, no,
with
you
my
put
beard.
it in an elastic, and as
Mhm.
it grows downwards until you
No, but I'm
have
gonna
like
have no
a
hair
bow.
up here, but then my beard, and I'll have to use my beard as a comb up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so it
and
won't
you
grow.
tie it.
Oh, I guess it will grow over and around.
Yeah, you tie it up, and then
Yeah.
as it grows out, it grows down,
It'll be like a
and then
waterfall.
yeah, you'll have volume to your hair.
That'll be a new style. I don't know if anybody does that, but we'll try it.
I doubt it. Wow, fuck. I gotta go.
Yeah, I don't really care about the hair, but it'll be funny.
What?
Hmm?
What? Oh, I thought you said
When I'm bald.
No, I thought you said, do you know what would be funny?
Bonnie
That's
would
what
be
I.
funny
Huh?
if you smoked that whole joint.
Oh
That'd
my
be even funnier.
No, I can't. I can't.
See, next
Can't
time you
even.
got to smoke that right at the beginning,
No, why?
because then it'll be even funnier.
Well, then I'll have to leave in 10 minutes.
No, we'll
Like
make
10
you
minutes
stay.
in.
We'd have to make you stay,
No.
and I'll
You know
make you
what?
talk. I'll get you on like a subject as soon
And I was
and
just
as you're
gonna
smoking it, and then as soon as that kicks in on you, you'll just be like, "What am I talking about?"
That's what would happen. I have no train of like my thoughts just all
That one time, I remember you were stoned
dude.
and you were eating a bowl of cereal, but you didn't know what you were eating, and it feels funny in my mouth. And you couldn't talk. Do you remember that?
No.
You were in
I'm
Montreal one night. I don't know why you had to talk to you, but you were stoned and you were eating cereal, and you're like, I don't even know what's this cereal that I'm eating? You couldn't think of the name of it, and
no.
I was laughing at you. It was funny.
And I can't speak when I'm really
Mhm.
fucking high.
That's okay. That's the funny part of
That's exactly what's going. Yeah, but that's what's happening now. Oh my god, I gotta go.
it. Yeah, you go.
Yeah, I gotta go. All right, we'll talk again.
Yep.
Okay,
And Paul, if
bye.
you're still around, thanks for coming by. And we'll see you probably next Saturday or maybe Friday night. I'm not sure what night, but whatever Bonnie is available,
Okay, we'll see you
we'll figure
then.
it out.
Bye.
You too. Bye.